This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
Welcome to Red Light Therapy, a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Red and infrared light has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Train, fight, recover.
The Big O Radio Show is looking for partners to join our growing platform. If your business is ready to reach an audience that starts in Florida, crosses the nation while expanding internationally, this is the program that provides that vehicle. The Big O Radio Show is ready to broadcast live anywhere in the world to represent your event or product. To reach out by phone, 786-754-4664. That's 786-754-4664. Or email bigoradioshow@yahoo.com. Help us grow as we provide the content and personal connection corporate entities will never achieve. When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
Why is it that you get locked out in the worst moments of your life?
Where are my car keys? Man, I can't find my house keys.
In those frustrating moments, you need a locksmith you can count on. A. Lenny Locksmiths in South Florida, from Miami to Port St. Lucie. In Central Florida, A. Lenny locks it down in Orlando and Tampa Bay. Lockouts or lock changes for home or business, car key replacements, and programming all model cars. 24-hour service. Call them at 855-869-5625. Go to the website at alennylocksmith.com.
Bolton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
Sports Grill on Bird Road, Miami Lakes, and their newest location in Doral is now hiring. If you're looking to join a great company and South Florida institution, give them a ring or drop an email. Sports Grill is hiring all kinds of positions from hostess to servers, bartenders, or join the kitchen staff to craft some great food for their amazing customers. Please send your resume to m.cruz@sportsgrillmiami.com or call 305-219-5726. That's 305-219-5726. Sports Grill. Good food, good drink, good friends. The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Alrighty, it's a beautiful Friday. Welcome aboard to the show where we got all the edge and all the energy you can handle every single day here on the program. Fresh off of practice after watching the boys go through a Friday practice. Looking forward to Saturday's practice. Also, I'll be there tomorrow. So C-Man was with us out at camp today. Sean was at home base, and he's here now with us, rocking and rolling here in the afternoon. Thank you all as always. And it's funny because you can tell some people don't really follow the show every day. They just may download a couple segments here or there, so they don't keep up with everything going on at times, and so you get the DMs and you get the tweets and the Facebook posts and the, I don't know how what is it? Instagram and that Facebook thing that everybody, it's not really like Facebook, but it's like their messenger or whatever, right? Everybody reaching out like, okay, are you on in the morning or what's going on? Because they don't listen every day, so they don't know when I'm going to camp. And then I say, those of you that are hardcore and actually listen to the show, now, well, I'm just going to listen to Ira's segment, or I'm only going to listen to Marcel Louis Jacques' segment or something. It's those of you that listen to the show and listen to everything in between. You know what goes on. You know what I mean? But it's always funny. I can always tell the people that really don't listen to the entire show and in between, they just listen to what's interest in them. So it's like I get asked every day about Joe Shad. Every day, at least once or twice a day, somebody tells me, hey, where's Joe Shad? And it's like, you don't listen to the show, really, right? And then I love it when I tell them, you're not really well, no, I download every day. Yeah, but you're downloading a segment or two or three, but you're not really listening to the show, right? Because, that's the way it goes. But yes, we are back. We're in the afternoon when we do practice in the morning. Tomorrow we're normally not on, but we're going to go on because we're going to go to practice in the morning. And I feel that I have to do something in the afternoon to kind of keep up with everything going on with camp. I mean, listen, we're really the only platform that's on every day, and we're going to these things. You know what I mean? Like the local radio station was nowhere to be found today there. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things that we got to do things that nobody else is actually going to do. So there you go. Let's see. What are we doing? Okay. All right. Sean is answering questions there. All right. Good stuff. Happy Friday. Oh, I see everybody's locked in. Steve Chapman up at the top of the chat board. Ian from Brooklyn. Omar Lopez. Sebastian Alvarez. Joe in the PSL. Yeah, baby. DJ Gallagher. Sebastian Alvarez. Says, reminds me of listening to O with my dad and on the way home after school. Great memories. I'll never forget hating O for not liking the Sue deal. He was right. And it wasn't really so much about the player itself. It was more about the salary and the silly impact that people thought he was going to make when he wasn't really a Warren Sapp or an Aaron Donald type. He's not a pass rusher from that position. And that's the kind of people you pay that kind of money, the guys that can actually get to the quarterback. Sue gets there every once in a while, but that's not really his thing. And so that's the only reason. Hey, listen, man, it is what it is, right? Sometimes you're going to be right. Sometimes you're going to be wrong. Obviously, we nailed it with that one with Ndamukong Suh. Let's see. What else do we have? John Fernandez says, voices from our youth. We just left great here in Los Angeles. R.I.P. Vin. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sebastian Alvarez is in. John Fernandez, GP Trap. Let's see. Harley. Been eagerly awaiting this day. Let's go. Oh, yes, I'm with you. 6193. Let's see what else. Steve Rupert. Yeah, that's right. Smash the like button, folks. Very important. Steve Caparella. Thank God it's Friday, Big O. Best sports show on YouTube all day, every day. Well, we would go with, thank you. I appreciate it. That's very kind of you saying on YouTube. But we'll go with South Florida. That way, real sports show compared to the stuff that you're hearing everywhere else. Carlos Herrera, indeed. Gus 1388. Rosendo says, good afternoon. Cast all of your cares and worries into God's hands and see how he cares for you affectionately and watchfully. Have a blessed weekend, my friends. Thank you, Rosendo, as always, for your kind words, man. Awesome. Angel Padilla, Shag Fins, Razzle Dazzle, Crypto. Yeah. You know what I reloaded on? Because I was able, as I just on a little crypto note, because I've always been a big Theta guy. And I've got some Theta over on my Gate.io account, right? And then I've been waiting for one of these exchanges here to like pick it up, crypto.com or OKCoin or, something Voyager. Now I'm not using Voyager anymore, but before that, whatever. And nobody would pick it up. And so then, remember, I've been telling you for a while now to transfer everything off exchanges. Whatever you buy, transfer to a cold wallet, right? And I told you about the Exodus cold wallet, Exodus/Trezor. The Trezor is the cold wallet, and then Exodus is kind of the warm wallet, not a hot wallet, but it's kind of warm, and you can control everything in your Trezor, and you can stake and everything, right? But you can also buy coins. Well, guess what they had? Theta. So I was able to load up at Theta in the very low 130s. And today, Theta actually started to take off. And I'm a big Theta guy. Why? Because Theta, for those of you that don't know, Theta is basically the YouTube of the blockchain. And I got it in the low 130s. It's at 159 right now. Yeah, I knew it was going to pop at one point or another, and I was dying to get into it, and get some Theta. And I was so happy that I loaded up on the Theta, and now it's starting to climb. And those of us that have stuck through this crypto winter, in a way, if we could call it a crypto winter over the last 6, 7 months, 8 months, this has been going on, and you have DCA'd on the way down, and now you're watching everything come back. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. Right now, you're pretty happy about the direction that crypto has been going in, because it's a positive trend right now for, I think, almost 2 straight weeks right now. We're on a positive trend. And like I told you, we're out of the woods if we get through August. Okay, right now it's August 5th, so we got a long way to go. But if we get through August with no volatility, I'm not talking about little, things that, there's always little retractions, a percent or 2 or 3 or something, but I'm talking about major ones. If there's none of those and it continues like it's been doing, higher highs and higher lows, like it has the last 2 weeks, if we do that throughout the month of August, then I believe we're out of the downward spiral and we're up. By the way, you saw the job reports. I don't know how many of you follow that, but monster amount of jobs being added. So people are working. It's interesting how they say that the economy is like, going into a recession. But if you really look around, everywhere you go, people are out, man. They're out and about. So people are working, people are spending money. There's no doubt about it. Dennis Aker says, Big O, I got my Nature B and I've been using it for 2 weeks and feel a big difference. I have tons of energy now. Thanks, Big O. I love the show. Keep up the great work, Dennis. Keep up the great work. Thank you. And Dennis, I've been taking Nature B for 20 freaking years, bro. 20 freaking years. And I swear by it. I live by that stuff, man. And I appreciate it more, not even for the energy, not for the hair, not for the nails, not for the digestion, not for the so many other things that it does. I tell you all the time what I brag about, immune system, dude. And in today's virus-filled world, I've been talking about this immune thing for 20 years now, because doing a show every day, this is my tool right here, man. And when you have a cold, oh my God, it is brutal to do a show. And sometimes you can't even, it gets to the point where you don't. And if you notice, I rarely ever have a cold, and that's Nature B. So I'm not surprised. Everybody that gets on it, they feel it. And right now, folks, you can buy 2 months. You get the 3rd month for free and free shipping. Use the code Big O. Buy 2 months, get the 3rd month free and free shipping. Go to natureb.com and do what I've done for 20 years, man. My wife's been taking it. My daughter's been, and when I took it a long time ago, it was like, okay, well, my wife's a teacher. She just brings, a bunch of crap home because she's sitting in a room where 200 kids are filtering in and out of that room, coughing and wheezing all over the place. And she brings that shit home. You know what I'm saying? And then we had a daughter. So all of a sudden now we've got 2 people going to school and bringing shit home. So we loaded up on the Nature B, and it's always been good. So I'm glad it's working for you, Dennis, man. Good stuff there. I saw the media video with Coach McDaniel. He can be dorky, and I like it. How did the O-line look today? The O-line's done a really good job overall, man. I got to tell you, and it's crazy because I was telling Kyle Krabs today, we're sitting there watching, and I go, can I say that I'm a little bit more concerned about Eichenberg than I am of Austin Jackson? And he said, yeah, you can actually say it, because I can see Eichenberg still making more mistakes than Austin. Now, Austin is in his natural position of tackle, and Eichenberg is not in his natural position of tackle. He's a guard. So it's a little bit of an adjustment for him still. And so he's probably not in a happy place because he probably doesn't view himself as a guard. You know what I'm saying? And while Jackson always, hell, he said it the other day in a press conference that he viewed himself as a tackle. And so he's happy to be at the tackle position. And so it's adjustment for him. The concern I have right now is Connor Williams. And I told you this, that if it continues into next week, then we've got an issue and you've got to go center hunting. Today at the press conference, I wanted to ask Coach McDaniel about the issues with Connor and the snapping. And let me share this with you here with him, with the coach.
I mean, that's, even with guys that have been doing that for an extended period of time. Shoot, Alex Mack last year. That is something that when you're asking players to do various things post snap out of the shotgun, you have to kind of learn how to negotiate the accuracy of those. I would be concerned if he wasn't working at it. I'm very, very confident in how far he's come. He's earned that because of his ownership of the position that he's trying to go and take. And I think the rest of the team is pretty confident that's not necessarily the issue. There's a lot of snaps that are on target as well.
What's your history on that adjustment?
because a lot of times when the guy's going from center to guard, it's not as hard. But when he's going from guard to center to handle the ball, what's been your history when you've made a player make that adjustment?
What's cool is we have we have a plethora of offensive line coaches, as you guys know. But firsthand experience with Mike Person as a player doing the same thing. Those are things that definitely come to aren't lost that you're thinking about. So it's been cool. A little known fact: Frank Smith was a center for Ben Roethlisberger in college. We have a good amount of center experience within our coaching staff, and that is something I think the players can really lean on. It's very helpful, and that's why I haven't really been that concerned about it, because I do have history with moving guards to centers and understand the little bumps in the road along the process.
Very fine question.
Anyway, and I thought that follow-up question, we got a nugget out of it. Frank Smith was the center for Ben Roethlisberger at Miami of Ohio. Did not know that. And you have so many offensive line coaches and that guys that know about line play and how to coach it and all that. It's definitely a strength of the Miami Dolphins coaching staff. And he's not concerned at the moment, okay? And listen, he's the coach. He knows offensive line play way more than you and me, and so does Frank, and so does Matt Applebaum. A lot of those guys know more than we do about it. And listen, again, this is why I told you that we can't panic yet. I am concerned, but it's only the first week. We got to get to next week. And when we get to next week and we go through the week and the practices against Tampa and you get to the game, if those issues continue into that game, like I told you, then you've got to go center hunting. You've got to do something there. Okay? But you've got to give it another week, and you got to get to the point where you've given him time to work through it. The good thing is the snaps aren't like, okay, it's a roller that's, a knuckleball, and oh my God, and there's Tua and Teddy, they're chasing the ball all over the place. Oh, it's being snapped over his head, and he's got to run back there. And it's high snaps. They are high, okay? They're Spicoli snaps, but they're not completely disastrous. Now, they do take away a little bit of the timing of the play. It does make it a little harder for the quarterback to readjust, which there's a part of me that kind of likes that, because that forces Tua to make an even more difficult play, like he did with the high snap, and he threw that bow in, right? That was just right on target. For me, that was a better throw than the bomb to Tyreek. That was just a phenomenal throw by Tua on that one. And you want to fix this. You need to fix this. But again, you can't do it until you got to give it a little time, because he's new to this. And that's why I tell you, one more week. Let's get to competition week. Let's get to the week where you're practicing against Tampa for a couple days. If we see that the ball is being, mishandled there also, and then mishandled in the game, I think when you roll around on Sunday and Monday, you're in the personnel department going, all right, guys, let's go. Who can we call? Who's the guy that fits what we do and all of that? So I think there's a little bit of that going on right now, but I am concerned about it. I will tell you that. I have to be. You have to be. We all have to be. It's something that stands out when you go to practice. You watch it. It's an issue, and they've got to fix it. With some good offensive line still out there as free agent, it worries me we haven't signed one or two. If it's salary cap, number game with the roster. No. They have the salary, and they can, cut somebody for it. It's not anything that like that. I think what they're doing is they're not ready yet. They're not ready to look for somebody else yet. That's clear. That's the message they're sending. And remember, here's the flip side of all of this. If you want to go get another center, the second you start bringing in another center, you have now told Connor Williams, we have lost all confidence in you. And now it becomes a competition right away. Or you're moving him to guard. You know what I mean? One of the two. If it's a proven center like a JC Treader, if his knees are good enough and they think he can pull and play in this system, then that's fine. But overall, I think you don't want to make that move until you have sat down with Connor and say, hey, Connor, this is an issue and we are concerned. You're working, he's like he said, the coach says, I'm not as concerned because he's working at it. So if he's working at it, okay, I get it. This is not an easy transition. Remember, you go from guard to center. At guard, you just got to block your guy. At center, you got to make the calls. You got to snap the ball and block. So you got a lot of things to do compared to the guards and the tackle. They're waiting for your call, and then you've got to snap, and you got to make sure you get a clean snap, and then you got to start blocking. And it's a bitch because you got to think about it. When you go from guard to center, you snap the ball at guard, boom, you're up and you're ready to block. When you're at center, you got to snap and then look up and start blocking, right? So there's a millisecond that you're losing there, and that's when the defender is in your face because you're in a phone booth. And it's got to be one of those things that I don't know the word anxiety. I don't know what the word you want to use for it, but it's got to be one of those things that it puts you in a different mindset from that position to the position next to you at guard. So it has to be some kind of an adjustment for Connor Williams. The amazing part would be is if you handed him the job and he came into practice and all the snaps were clean all the time, like he's been doing it for 10 years. That would be the amazing thing. This is why when we talk about the switch from guard to center and you've never played the position, you don't really have a lot of experience in it, it becomes a challenge. It's not nearly the same if you're an older center and they say, well, we think you still can play, but we need you to play without the ball in your hands. We're going to move you to guard. Whole different ball game. And then it's an easier adjustment for that player because they're doing a lot less. So that's kind of the challenge when it comes to all of this. Big O, can you believe that Tua haters believe Tua is a quick decision maker? That's actually a really good thing to make quick decisions because you've got to get rid of the ball. That was the beauty of last year, the last 2 seasons for Tua Tagovailoa, and why I am one of the people that was called a nutbag, crazy, you're wrong, you're an idiot, you're a moron, and maybe I'm all of that. That's fine. I don't care. I'm not like some of you out there. Oh my God, these words, they hurt me. You hurt my feelings, Big O. You called me an idiot. Anyway, I said his rookie year was excellent. And that's what I think he's done in his first 2 years with no coaching, shitty offensive line, no running game, crappy coaches, and yet he still wins more than he loses. He throws more touchdowns than interceptions, and he wasn't even healthy. I think he's done a phenomenal job overall, but I'm in the big time minority on this. I mean, I had a guy today in the media go to me. Anybody ask if how much Tua sucked today? And I was like, same guy won't tell you when Tua has a really good day. And Tua wasn't terrible today, but he wasn't sharp. And today the defense I'm glad that he struggled a little bit today. In a way, because the defense has got to have success too. Last thing I want is, let me tell you something. You don't want your offense dominating your defense all the time. You don't want your defense dominating your offense all the time. That would be bad. I've seen that, by the way. The defense dominating the offense, by the way. We haven't seen an offense dominating the defense. I don't know. You got to go back to maybe Ricky Williams or something, that you had some juice on that line with Ricky. But this is a good thing. And I can, and again, this is the beauty of the Tua hater. He is so blinded by his hate, and yet he also has to defend his or her position because they've made their bed and now they're lying in it, right? They already made the declaration that Tua can't play. He's too short. His arm's not strong enough. He doesn't work hard enough. He plays too much golf. What else is there? I don't know. Whatever. Any of the crazy ideas and excuses that people have used. But it's funny how you see the Tua hater, right? Because the Tua hater is just kind of fixated on proving his or her point and not being objective. And yeah, today he wasn't great. I would give Bridgewater a slight edge over him today. Definitely. Yeah, he missed on a couple of throws or a couple of high snaps and all that, but yeah, he missed on a couple, but he wasn't, oh my God, he was throwing interceptions and all that. No, he didn't. He didn't turn over the ball or anything. They got, he is facing a pretty good defense. So, it happens. But that's what I love about the Tua hater. Yeah, I'm the Tua lover. I'm the Tua believer. I'm the Tua non. Maybe I'm the Tua non president. But I'm telling you, it wasn't great today. Yeah, he wasn't fantastic. He wasn't super sharp today or anything. He was today. And that's fine. You're not going to light it up every day. And especially as a young quarterback, as you get older, then you'll have more of those good days on a consistent basis because you're at that level. But he's not there yet. So he's entitled to have some bad moments. He's entitled to be off a little bit, which is what happened on a couple throws. There was one across where he was a little behind. But again, there was no turnovers. And that's what you get from the Tua hater. The Tua hater just sees their point. And, it's kind of happens right now in, politics now. There's a certain group of people that were behind one guy, and now that one guy making people look really bad. And now they've got to get off of that. And some won't because they're so deep in, they won't even admit when they're wrong about, so happens. You go so hard on your position, then to get out of it, and there are so many people that have gone so deep on Tua on how bad it is and what a bad pick it was. And he is terrible and that he'll never be Justin Herbert and he'll this, that, right? They're so in on it that once he starts performing, it's all the excuses, right? And if he does play well, which I expect him to, well, that's because he's got a line now, and they gave him all kinds of weapons. Who wouldn't be that? And then they make it sound like everybody with a good offense and weapons is always a good quarterback, which is not true either. But that's fine. And that's the Tua hater. The Tua hater is so deep in his or her game that at this point, they can't back out anymore. So they're afraid of the embarrassment of backing out. So they'd rather embarrass themselves even more by standing on a point that they're about to lose. Yes, you Tua haters. Craig Zinn's Acura Pembroke Pines, by the way, is the finest dealership in the business. We've been talking about them for about 13 years now, man. And of course, they know how to get it done. Go to 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 in Pines, finest dealership in the business. Check out the fleet of certified pre-owned vehicles, and the 2023s are starting to roll in, folks. They've got the 2023 Integra. It is absolutely beautiful. You will love it. Go check it out for yourself. Got all kinds of great lease features out there. So whether you're looking for a new car, like a 2022 TLX technology package, $449 per month. The 2023 Integra is $369 a month. Folks, we got the loyalty program going on right now. $1,000 you can save on our loyalty program with the 2023 MDX. And they've got also the RDX, another $1,000 you can save loyalty savings at 15601 Pines Boulevard, the dealership that has been the dominating force in the Southeast United States as the #1 volume sales dealership. And that is Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Make sure you tell them that Big O sent you. They will definitely take care of you. Alex says Dolphins defense was not that good until they started to play a bunch of backup quarterbacks. No, bro, you are the one who is wrong. I'm not wrong. I was there at practice. He wasn't as sharp. He missed on a few throws today. I'm deadly right. I can't wait for Alan P to report to Big O. He says something about Tua that he's never seen before, and he's not a Tua guy. He was on yesterday. He had some praise for Tua yesterday. If you go listen to the segment, Poupart was on yesterday. He praised Tua yesterday. You may want to check that out. Is there any chance Skyler makes the 53? None. Nada. Nay. He'll be a practice squad player, is where he belongs. He misses too many throws. He's got an arm. But he is a perfect developmental guy. I like him. I like him as a developmental guy. That's what you want, man. When you draft a 6th, 7th rounder or one of those street free agents, you want him to have some physical tools that are at this level. And Skyler has the physical tools at this level. Big arm, not good size for the kid, can run around, got a good athlete. He's got those physical gifts, but that quarterback position, it's about mental, and then it's all about a feel for the game and touch with your passes. Like, he's got a big arm, but he still doesn't know how to put touch on a pass, to lead a receiver, to have accuracy, those kind of things. You watch Tua and you'll see, and you watch Teddy, you'll see touch, right? They have it, right? Now, Teddy's not a gun guy, and neither is Tua either, and I get that. Skyler has a gun, but he has to kind of fine-tune that gun so he can have better accuracy overall. All right? All right. The wife came through, got the honey and lime ready to go. All right. All right, let's talk a little Miami Hurricanes. Canes camp has started. Manny Navarro is covering it. Let's go with the best insider in the business and our Canes Wear Miami Hurricanes report.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. Time for Canes fans to get what they want. Information, insight, and perspective. It's the Canes Wear Miami Hurricanes Report with Manny Navarro, exclusively on a Big O radio show. Here's Big O and insider Manny Navarro.
There he is.
How you doing?
Good. Fresh off of practice, sweating my ass off. Not you. You don't have to sweat because they send your ass inside, right? That's what it is, right? You guys.
It was hot out there today from when we were out there, but I came home and showered, so I had time to clean up here.
Yeah, me too. Definitely got a shower, bro. You're so damn sticky from being out there, but it was good. So I saw one of the headlines on Sean Taylor number and all that good stuff. And I found it very interesting because he said he wouldn't retire numbers, that they should be honored. And considering, you've got, what is it, 90 or 91? What was it? Or hell, what was it yesterday when he was in his press conference? He said 120, and oh my God, compliance, it's 110 or whatever. So
right,
you have more players than numbers anyway, as it is.
Mm-hmm.
In college football, that's the last sport that you should be retiring numbers.
Yeah, it's really difficult to do it, but I think the bigger point is that you want special players to wear special numbers. And if you're going to let, somebody wear number 1 at the University of Miami, or let somebody wear Sean Taylor's number 26, then it should be somebody who's worthy of it. And that's a tough thing to do, right? Because every coach is going to have their opinion on who's worthy and all that kind of stuff. But essentially, somebody asked if they could wear 26, and Mario's response was no. Because to him, you have to earn it. You have to go out and prove it and be a guy that is probably one of the team captains, somebody that can be counted on. And so I think, before those numbers are given out again in the future, I think we're going to see, respect a little more. And that's stuff that they do at other programs. They do that at LSU, for instance, right? With their numbers, the important ones there for their school. I know that it has a positive effect on the program, because now it's something for these players to strive for. If they really want to wear that number, then they know that they have to act accordingly. And a big part of this coaching success in college, not the pros, in college, is having carrots like this, right? Because all the kids want to have the cool numbers. They want to wear the single digits, all that kind of stuff. Well, if you really want it, then you really have to earn it. And I think that's a good thing.
So what are those numbers? You said 1 in 26. You know how many great players they've had at that place?
Well, I mean, there are numbers that are retired. For instance, Vinny's 14. I don't think anybody's worn that in a while. Look, I'm gonna look here.
I'm sorry. Would you say Vinny Testaverde?
Did he just throw another interception? Is that what happened while we were talking?
Yeah, number 10.
I don't have I'm looking for the roster. I had it here in front of me somewhere from practice earlier. But Michael Irvin is 47. Is anybody wearing 47? Let me look.
God,
this is from the spring. I don't know.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite UM player of all time.
I got to find this roster here. Hold on. I got it in a bag in one of these things.
Terrible on radio. He's a terrible radio host.
I'm killing it.
He is my favorite Kane of all time. He was so fun to watch. He was so money, so fearless. I mean, it's impossible not to love what you saw from Michael Irvin as a Hurricane, man.
I'm trying to 52. I mean, they've Ray was 52 in the pros and at Miami, I think. And
yes.
Nobody's wearing 52. I'm trying to think of other numbers that just jump off the page as far as most special Canes.
12.
Ed Reed.
12.
Yeah, 12 is being worn by two guys. Jim Kelly's number 1 on offense. Rashard Smith, the receiver, and Jafari Harvey, the defensive end. It's just one of those things. No 10. I think that was who was 10? What is it? Was it Myra? I think 10 was Myra. I don't know.
I think you might be right. I don't even remember now. That's
because they have some of the old.
Talk about Myra. You're talking senior, by the way. You're not talking junior.
Yeah, I'm talking about the father who played quarterback, not the linebacker.
No, but just in case, because people, Junior came in clutch for that moment that they needed him. He actually, that 1 year, he actually came through when they needed him.
Right.
He was a backup, I believe. Right now, I forgot who missed, and then he was thrusted in there. Right? Was it like that, or was it that? Or was it that he went down and then Bernard Tiger Clark came in? I forget.
That was what happened. Bernard came in as replacement.
Right? He went down and then Tiger came out of nowhere and had the bowl game of his life.
Yeah. No 14, no 52, no 26. 1 is always a special number with every team. I'm looking who else. What would be another one to look up? 47 there is. It's a walk-on defensive lineman. But I don't know, man. It's just.
So 47, a walk-on defensive lineman has it.
Right.
Yeah, we're not really going by this whole thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like, Mario, I love you, brother, but we're not really going by this, because if we got to walk on wearing 47, no, dude. No.
I would say Sean Taylor's 26. Gervin Hall wore it last year. Gervin, of course, had the infamous missed tackle against Michigan State where he ran into his own guy.
Maybe he was tackling the spirit of Sean Taylor. Maybe he saw it on the field, and he goes, "Wow, Sean, I gotta hug you."
Maybe that was
and,
it.
and that was, I wear your 26, Sean.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe, I've seen radio guys think that there was a cat in the studio. So, I mean, anything is possible in today's world.
I think it's a cool thing if he's going to uphold it and not give out 1 and 26 and people are asking for it and they've got to earn it.
I'm fine with that. But when you tell me 47 is being worn by some walk-on.
Well, 47 was worn after Michael as well.
I know, but I mean, are we going to cherish the numbers or are we not going to cherish the numbers? Because
I guess we can't. I guess you can't really do it maybe for the college Hall of Famers, but you should probably do it, for like the NFL legends. Like I would think those guys probably deserve a little more just because of the national recognition they got. Jerome Brown was 98, right?
Yeah.
Nobody's wearing 98.
Okay.
That's another one.
He was so dominant. Jesus Christ, he could move a building.
Yeah.
That guy could just move a building.
Was Russell 67 at Miami?
Yes.
Yeah, nobody's wearing 67 either. I'm flipping through the roster quickly and trying to do it all off memory here. So if I missed anybody important, I apologize. But
they are keeping some people off because they have to have double numbers other places. Because again,
there's a lot of other double numbers. Correct.
Right.
So,
okay. How we doing injury wise? I know Zion. What else is going on?
Zion was the only one in terms of notable absences. Guys that will be part of a rotation that wasn't there for practice. Even some of the guys I thought would be out, like Akeem Mesidor, who told me he's at 80% his shoulder. He was out there running through drills. Now, again, they're not hitting exactly. They're in shorts and shells. Okay, this is sort of the first couple of days, which you know how that always works, right? The first 2 or 3 days, I think. It's the first 2 days that they're not allowed to practice in pads. So Sunday, I guess, will be the first day that they're in pads doing that kind of stuff. But again, good sign. A lot of healthy guys back. Don Chaney Jr., Jalen Rivers, all the guys who had surgery last year, which there were a lot of guys who had surgery. They're all back. And the thing with Zion, for people who were worried about that, it was a cleanup and it was becoming, cartilage that was kind of loose in his leg. He just had to get it cleaned up and didn't want to play through the pain. So he misses a little bit of camp. You have the 2 warm-up games. He'll be fine for Texas A&M in my mind.
I think the problem is it's kind of like the same shit that goes on with Dolphin fans. Because it's a unit you can't trust. You haven't been able to trust it in years. It's a concern every moment. And so anybody that misses time, anybody that has surgery, anybody that's out, and especially the guy that maybe is labeled your best lineman, right? Zion is your best lineman, right?
Well, so he could be a first-round pick. Probably not now after this more surgery news, but who knows?
Okay, but that's my point, that it's your best lineman. And so if your best lineman is not ready yet and you are concerned, and look, anybody coming back from surgery, you always worry about how they're going to come back. How can they get back to form? How long will it take it to get back to form? All those kind of things. So I just think it's one of those things that Dolphins and Canes fans have been beaten down so badly with that position that it's just until they actually see 5 competent dudes doing the job, they just won't feel secure. They won't feel like you solved that problem. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. I can totally see that. Look, I think Miami's going to have a good offensive line this year. I think the ACC network put out their top 5 offensive lines in the conference, and Miami was 4th. I mean, if John Campbell's as good as Mario's making him out to be, and most people don't even remember who John Campbell is because he didn't play last year. But I wrote about him the year before when he was dunking basketballs. He's 6'5", 330. Trains with Trent Williams in the NFL, and it just. He's a really good athletic lineman. It looks like he's going to be really good. I know Garen Justice used to talk up a storm about how good he thought John Campbell would be. If he is that player, then I think Miami could have one of the best offensive lines, if not the best offensive line in the conference this year.
Well, if they do, then you got a chance at winning the division and putting yourself in a position to actually win the conference.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's kind of what when you have that quarterback, and I think you have enough guys on defense to make some noise, man. Fix that damn offensive line, and you'd be all right actually, because everything else could actually fall in place.
Yeah, and I think the bigger question though is receiver. Josh Gaddis, the offensive coordinator, spoke to us on Tuesday at media day, and someone asked him, do you think you have enough talent at the position? He said, I think we have enough talent as a team. And whenever a guy says that about a certain position group, he's kind of, trying not to say anything negative about it, which tells me that I think you're going to probably see the running backs and tight ends and a lot more involved in that regard until somebody really emerges. I think Xavier Strepo will be the Braxton Berrios type, third down receiver who probably catches a lot of balls out of the slot. But I think as far as deep threats, there's a lot that some of these guys have to prove, and that's going to affect Miami's offense if Tyler Van Dyke can't fling the ball down the field regularly and feel confident in the guys he has. I'm not saying they don't have that guy on their roster. I'm just saying right now they don't have that guy who's established himself as that deep threat.
Right. No, I mean that's another concern. Obviously, is the receiving core for Tyler Van Dyke. What do they tell you? I mean, coaches are always going to give you coach talk, so they're always going to be positive about it. But what concerns have they told you about the wide receiver position? I mean, do you see them trying to continue to recruit somebody to get somebody that can transfer in right away? What do you see?
They made a strong push to try to get Jordan Addison when he was leaving Pittsburgh, and didn't really even return their phone calls. I think that they reached out to some of people, in Zay Flowers' camp. Zay Flowers is from down here in South Florida. He's the top receiver at Boston College, a deep threat, behind the scenes, trying to see if he would have any interest in coming back home to play for him. So I think they made the effort. I just think they didn't find him. And, Frank Ladson, who came over from Clemson, and this kid Colby Young, who's from the same school that produced Bryant McKinney, this junior college up in Pennsylvania. They're big athletic receivers, but they have to do it at this level consistently. Ladson was an elite recruit coming out of high school, one of the best in the country, and just couldn't stay healthy at Clemson. So this is kind of like his final shot if he wants to play in the NFL. He's got the skills, he's got the ability. The question is, can he hold on to the football and make the plays? And Colby Young is a really big physical guy. I think he's going to catch a lot of jump balls near the end zone, but that's different than getting behind the defense and stretching the field and holding onto the football. And so we'll see here. The first 2 weeks of camp will be interesting. They still got about 20 to 25% of the offense to install. Tyler Van Dyke said today he's interested to see what that last 20 to 25% of the playbook is. But I think we're going to see a lot of two tight ends. I think we're going to see a lot of running the football.
Well, that's right. I was just going to follow up with that, because this is what I was going to tell you. You have an untested wide receiving core. Mm-hmm. Okay. The best thing that we can do to help those guys is shove the ball down the throat of the defense and make those linebackers come up, and the middle of the field all of a sudden is going to be open for the tight ends, for wide receivers. And then you can start to, play with that free safety a little bit, because the strong is cheating up so much. So you now, if you really want to help your receivers, run the ball and run the ball effectively. Make them have to bring another guy in the box to try to stop that run. If they can stay in their base to stop the run, then that wide receiving core's job is going to be that much harder. But if they can run, maybe that's the saving grace for that offense and for the receiving core.
And they seem to think that they will. And there were flashes of it in the spring game, even with, the number 3 and 4 running backs technically on the team. Jalen Knighton's speed is the best on the team right now. I would say that, him being healthy is a good thing. I think him and Parrish together, very similar players. They give you that speed. They give you that ability to catch the ball out of the backfield. And then I would say Chaney, Citizen are kind of your more traditional backs. And they'll be the guys I think that take the majority of the handoffs. Citizen's a guy that everybody keeps raving about and just calls an absolute freak, but he's a baby. He's a true freshman, and there's going to be a learning curve there. But and then Thad Franklin's the thumper. So I think in a lot of ways, and I included a one-on-one interview I had with Miami's running backs coach, Kevin Smith, who, by the way, I put him on the all-day team like 20-something years ago out of Southridge before he went to the NFL, and played and broke all kinds of records at UCF. So he remembered me when we had our first conversation here. He's like, dude, you're the guy who put me on all day. So that was kind of funny. But he
Did you feel old too, by the way?
That always, it kills me. I mean, he's got 5 kids. He's a grown man. I mean, I was maybe only 5 or 6 years older than him at the time when he was in high school. I was in my early 20s. But
a guy told me today, God, man, listening to you, it just reminds me of me going to school with my dad, listening to you and I was listening to because he turned me on to you. And I'm like, yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate that.
Yeah, it's a two vets, brother. That's what we are. Yeah, so I think there's gonna be a lot of guys who play. I don't think there'll be one ball carrier. I shared that interview, by the way, in my podcast, the Wide Right podcast. So if you want to listen to what he said and you're interested in the running back race, it's available there. But I think Miami's in a good position to run the football a lot better than they did last year when they were last in the ACC in yards per carry.
I don't know if you've asked this of him, but he has, and it's not like he's never done this before. I'm sure he's coached these kind of players in the past, but the last few years at Oregon, he always had an athletic quarterback that could add to the running game.
Yeah.
That's not what you want to do with Tyler Van Dyke.
Right.
He's not really, I'm sure he can run if he has to, when he has no choice or whatever, but it's not even a design thing you want with him or anything like that, because he's not even really that kind of an athlete. You know what I mean? So I wonder for him, what's the adjustment? Because in college football, there's a lot of quarterbacks that can also run, but Tyler's not really that kind of quarterback. And so you won't have really that element to rely on in the running game.
Yeah, I mean, this is different. And, this is Josh Gaddis's offense. And if you go back and you look at Michigan, they didn't really have a running quarterback either.
Yeah. No, the last guy was Shoelace, right?
Yeah, Shoelace from Denard Robinson from Deerfield Beach. From Deerfield Beach, yeah, Denard.
Yeah.
I would say that they're running a play action offense. This is instead of an RPO, which spread, run and gun. This is a more traditional NFL style offense with regular sort of play action, and I think there will be some under center snapping and so forth. And so, but the one thing I will say for Tyler is he's not slow. He's not a statue back there.
No.
He can make plays on the run.
He's not the guy you want really running.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
No, but I listen. Kenny Pickett really wasn't that way either, but he was mobile enough to do some damage.
Yeah, he did. Actually.
I think that's a fair comparison for Tyler. I think he can make a few. He can escape on a few 3rd downs and 8s and pick up the first down.
But they're
I'm not saying he's gonna go 75.
Right, they're desperation runs. They're not play design runs. They're not. They're not. You know what I'm saying? That's the difference. Where actually, when he had Justin Herbert, he could literally just run a naked bootleg and let Justin just run because the guy can run. You know what I mean? He's an athlete, and Tyler, you don't view him that way. Plus, you don't want to put him at risk. Also,
no,
you know what I mean. So it's just one of those things. It's interesting. He doesn't have that element. In a year where we just talked about it, you really need to establish that run,
Well, the guy who brings that to you is Ja'Carri Brown, the true freshman. And that's the guy who is, to me, sort of a Cam Newton-esque type player that could run for 1,000 yards and throw for 4,000 yards and be a Heisman candidate. To me, when I look at it, I say that guy has that kind of a future if he pans out the way that they hope he does. So, they got a lot of talent on the roster, man. Now it's day one. Game is 29 days away. The opener.
Yeah. But I'm looking for this text that when we were talking, it was just too funny that some guy put. Here it goes. Samuel Robina says, "My dad, you and I are old, told me that ese era el tipo más amarillo, the biggest UM choke job ever." And he's talking about Vinny. When I read that while we were talking, after that, I saw that. I go, okay. I think he's frozen. Look at him. He's frozen in time. And he's frozen like he has a face like right there, like he's he's about to, step on a duck, float an air biscuit. Anyway, that is Manny Navarro and our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
All right. Remember, $99, over $99. When you order over $99, you will get free shipping. So go to caneswear.com and get it, baby. Get it. Get it done. It's a beautiful thing. By the way, saw some of you out there at Dolphins camp. That was good to see some of the fans out there. Saw Bob Fins, the masked wonder. He was out there. That was cool. I like it. Saw a bunch of guys out there. Mr. Barker was out there also. Saw him. I got to remember all the names. Tommy and Hiley, I did not see you, bro. I know you were out there. Let's see what else. Yeah, I see there Chris Barker. I'm trying to look at some of the picks now that I'm looking it up. Besides Bob and Barker and a bunch of you out there, and it was always good to see all of you out there as always. And thank you for listening and supporting the show. As always, man, thank you all out there. It was a good day at camp today. I mean, every day's a good day, man. Every day that you're above the ground is a blessing, ladies and gentlemen. DJ Gallagher says training camp days, typically Big O shifts to the 3 p.m. slot. Typically, I don't go to all the practices, but yes, when I do go, then we will have an afternoon show to kind of talk a little bit about it. And talk a little bit about some of the certain things going on. What's also going on? We are 22-9 after last night's liquor split matchup of the night. We told you to go with the Astros minus 1.5 runs. What happened? Houston defeated Cleveland 6-0. Verlander, 6 innings, 2 hits, 0 earned runs, and 5 Ks. And 1.73 ERA and a babe in his bedroom. And so he's ready to go. And now we are 22-9 in our last 31 selections in our liquor split matchup of the night. So why don't we do this? Let's give you our pick for our liquor split matchup of the night.
It's time to tap that app. And no one loves to tap that app like the Big O. Here's the liquor split matchup of the night.
Hey, the Marlins are playing right now. They are scoreless in the top of the 5th, which is pretty amazing. Now, the Cubs suck. So, I'm not surprised that it's 2 bad teams that can't score with a fistful of dollars in a whorehouse. Anyway, let's go with a game tonight between the Phillies and the Nationals. On the mound for the Phillies is Kyle Gibson, who is 6-4. He's got a 4.6 ERA. For the Nationals, Josiah Gray is 7-7 and a 4.59 ERA. The Phillies are hot right now. They've won 7 of 8. They're 6-2 against Washington this year. The line for today, Phillies are favored by 1.5 runs, so minus 1.5 runs. The over and under, they're expecting some runs in this game. It's 9. Philly, money line is brutal. It's minus 200. I cannot tell you in my right mind to bet 200 to win 100. I'm not doing that. And the Nationals are plus 165 on the money line. I like the Phillies in this one. And I like the Phillies minus 1.5 runs. Josiah Gray is not a good pitcher. Washington is 5-8 in their last 13 games. They are 7-23 in their last 30. The Washington Nationals are 7-23 in their last 30. Okay? And they're 2-6 against the Phillies this year. You've seen the Marlins beat them up. The Phillies will beat them up. Everybody beats them up. It's like Oprah. You get to beat them up, and you get to beat them up, and you get to beat them up. Have your way with the Nationals. And I think the Phillies will have their way. So in our liquor split matchup of the night, as we're going for our 23rd win in 32 games, we are no Washington Nationals. We are going with the Phillies minus 1.5 runs in our liquor split matchup of the night.
The matchup of the night is brought to you by Liquor Split, Miami's own online liquor store. Liquor Split. Download the Tap That app and get your favorite liquor delivered to you for just $2.99. No risk, no drinking and driving. Tap that app with Liquor Split.
All right. Remember, Liquor Split, $2.99 flat fee. So keep the party going at home. Keep that meeting going at the office. Don't drink and drive. Telling you folks, this is Miami's liquor store. So if you're in the downtown area, South Beach, you're in Coconut Grove, Tan Huechete, all right? Hialeah, telling you, download the app, iOS or Android. Liquor Split, $2.99 flat fee, and $1 goes to helping homelessness in Miami. And use our code BIGO15, and you will get 15% off your first order. So download it, man. Get the 15% off. Keep the party going with Liquor Split. Get that Grey Goose. Get a little wine, a little crema, a little Pinot Noir. That's my favorite wine right there from La Crema. Get your favorite beer, man. A little Bud Light if you want, a little Heineken, whatever, man. Go to liquorsplit.com, download it. They've got chips, they've got smokes, all of that. No need to leave your house, and a flat fee of $2.99. Big O15, get 15% off your first order at Liquor Split. All right, let's take a break. Omar Kelly will get ready to join us to start off hour number 2 right here on the Big O Radio Show.
The Big O Radio Show is looking for partners to join our growing platform. If your business is ready to reach an audience that starts in Florida, crosses the nation while expanding internationally, this is the program that provides that vehicle. The Big O Radio Show is ready to broadcast live anywhere in the world to represent your event or product. To reach out by phone, 786-754-4664. That's 786-754-4664. Or email bigoradioshow@yahoo.com. Help us grow as we provide the content and personal connection corporate entities will never achieve.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Welcome to Red Light Therapy, a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Red and infrared light has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Evolve your training and step into the new era of muscle recovery. Red Recover.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. The Big O Radio Show is home for the hardcore Dolphins fan. That's why we give you Omar Kelly twice a week. Buckle up. It's time for the EJDConstruction.com Miami Dolphins Report, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show.
There he is, the man, the myth, the legend. That is Omar Kelly. How you feeling, baby? You feeling good?
Yeah, man, I'm good. Can't complain. Trying to get the light situation a little bit right up in here.
You're pretty good now. You're good.
All right, cool.
You're good. You're good. You're good. Yeah. You look good, bro. It's nice and clear. We can see you perfectly. We can see clearly now. Omar's on. There we go. All right, man. Defense was on today.
Yeah. I mean, the first week they've been doing a lot of vanilla looks. So, I mean, not that that's not expected. I mean, now you'll get to see what happens to Tua and the offensive line when they're blitzing. I didn't think the offensive line did a great job today, but it was better than what I've seen in the past. So
right.
We'll see.
Yeah. No, but I mean, listen, the good thing is both are having success. You've covered a lot of these things where the defense and the offense never looks good. Correct. And that's the good thing. But I will tell you this, Omar, and this is not just a Dolphin thing, because obviously we haven't seen this with the Dolphins in forever. And these guys are still in a different gear, I'll tell you, than the other two guys I'm about to say in Clayton and Duper. I've never seen two guys on the field for the Dolphins, and very few in the NFL. I can go back to maybe Torrey Holt and Isaac Bruce, guys that can change direction at top speeds. Watching Tyreek, I don't know how you stay with this guy.
No,
I think it's impossible when he wants to make that comeback he did today. You can't cover that, dude. No one can cover that. How do you react to those split-second cuts that these guys can make? They are going to just enhance this entire offense with that.
I don't know if it's fair to say these guys, because I can honestly tell you I haven't seen Jalen Waddle do what Tyreek Hill does on a regular, consistent basis. There might be flashes.
Of course not, but you still saw him last year where you couldn't cover him on a short situation.
Bro, he was a slot receiver. He's out there running option routes. Like,
it's still difficult.
With
Omar.
His speed, he was a volume guy, and I'm not downplaying what he did, because he was a primary weapon on mediocre offense with no protection. So what he did was significant, but let's not act like he was out there balling, like destroying people.
Omar, he's the only guy on the field, and you knew he was getting the ball, and you still couldn't stop it.
I said that. At any point did he look like Chase?
Omar, that's the definition. That's the definition of balling.
Let me ask you this question: at any point in his rookie season, did he look like Jamar Chase?
Does he have the other two receivers Jamar Chase has on the field?
That's not the question that I asked.
No. That does count. That does count. Don't give me that shit. That does count. They had the best receiving core in the NFL. They have 3 guys on that team, and they have some offensive linemen, something Miami didn't even have one of last year.
Cincinnati?
Yeah, they had at least one guy that they drafted.
They had a crap line. Too. They had the second, the third, fourth worst line in the NFL. But besides the point, I'm just asking you.
Wait, listen. They have a running back that got 1,300 yards and 13 touchdowns or 12 touchdowns. Miami didn't have that. So when you have that, linebackers are worried. When you don't, linebackers aren't concerned. We cannot compare the Bengals offense to the Dolphin offense when they had a superior wide receiving core and a badass running back. Because, as you just said, not a great offensive line, yet somehow or another he scores 12, 13 touchdowns and 1,200 yards. That's a bad motherfucker. That's a bad mofo.
You're turning this into a Jalen Waddle diss session, and it's not.
No, you dissed him, not me. You dissed him.
No,
you said he wasn't balling.
He does not look like Jalen Waddle.
But when you're the only guy on the team, and you know you're getting, and everybody knows the ball is going to you. That's balling. That's balling.
Okay. All right.
Ricky Williams rushed for 1,800 yards.
Ricky Williams, 1,800 yards.
Did you not know Ricky Williams was getting the ball, Omar?
That's balling. There's nobody in the NFL who's going to sit there and tell you, oh, Jalen Waddle is a top 10, top 15 receiver in the league. Because he was balling.
My brother, if you put him on an offense with a whole bunch of other players that are really good, then he'll be even better, my man.
Jalen Waddle's a really good player. He's going to have a really good season. He's going to get single covered. He's going to be dynamic.
He's going to be balling. I just think, did you freeze? Oh, he froze. Oh, there you go. There. He's unfrozen. But let's philosophically just X's and O's, since you like to do the X's and Omar stuff, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But the X's and O's part of it for Mike McDaniel, the pressure those two receivers are going to put on every defense is just going to free up everybody else, because you're going to be so concerned about those two guys. Because when I'm watching this on the field, I'm thinking, how do defensive coordinators scheme against these two guys and then have to worry about Gesicki? And then you got a Cedric Wilson, who I think is going to have a nice year here as a big slot guy. The Zukama kid's looking good. And then you've got all this speed coming out of the backfield that can catch the ball. I'm just saying, man, I just think that these two are going to serve it up for the offense. That's all I'm saying.
They are, and they're tremendously talented and very fast, and it's a dream scenario for a play caller. I just hope they get the tight end situation a little bit addressed. And the run game comes alive, and Teron Armstead is healthy for 17 games a season. It should be a very promising offense. I've gone from being a skeptic of Mike McDaniel, like him, but I don't know about all that. The talk.
Well, he's improving. It's fair to have your questions.
Yeah.
It's fair.
But I really am very impressed with him so far. I love the offense. I love the commitment to the run. I love what I've seen from the offensive line so far. Yes, next week is going to be a better, more accurate test and gauge.
Yes.
If they can create run lanes against Tampa Bay, then I'll be like, okay, they got something here. But even if they can't create run lanes, this team is still going to stay committed to the run, because they know it's going to open up play action for them. And Tua has been, like, I was asking my colleague, Poop, Alan Poupard. You guys know him as Alan Poupard. I don't know what you call him. I've always called him Poop for 15 years. When's the last time we saw an interception in practice? It's been days. I missed Monday, and they said Trill Williams came down with like a tightrope interception in the back of the end zone. But I'm like, 1-on-1, 7-on-7s. I mean, you go from Monday to Friday with one interception. Like, that's a pretty goddamn good week.
Yeah.
And it's consistent. I didn't see many interceptions the first week. I could think
of. Well, that's what I was thought today. Like, today wasn't a great day for Tua. Actually, he wasn't super sharp, and
today was his worst day.
But no turnovers. No turnovers.
It was not a bad day. It was not a bad day.
It wasn't a good day.
It wasn't a good day. It was not a bad day.
That's what I'm saying.
It was a Tannehill-less day. It was there.
It was there.
It was there.
Hey, listen, it was there, and you have to credit the defense for a lot of it. And then there were, I think, 2 throws that he could have had, and that's it. And so
the high throw to
on the slant.
Hill.
Yeah.
And which other one?
He had a one on the sideline that he was off on. I think he overthrew the guy, if I'm correct.
I can't. I don't remember
correctly.
that
It wasn't
a bad day, but every day has been consistent. I think he was a little off today, accuracy wise.
Yeah.
And those things happen. It just happens, you know.
What'd you think of the exchange with me and Coach talking a little bit about Connor and he's not ready, and I'm not ready to panic either. I've said it. I'm concerned, but I think you got to go through next week. Next week's practices with the Bucks and the game.
Yeah.
If you don't have it fine-tuned by then, because one of the things I was talking about earlier before you joined us was it's not like they're knuckleballs that are going on the ground or the ball's going way over
or
the guy's head.
Going super high.
Right. It's a little bit of a high snap, but it's not like, oh my God, it's terrible. Yeah. He's got to fine-tune it. So for me, I need you to fine-tune it by next week.
No. Don't be.
Don't you think by the end of the Tampa game, you got to feel a little better about the snapping, about that? Don't you feel that?
They have 5 weeks to get this right. I counted.
Yeah, I know, but you're counting the week of practice in between the game and the last preseason, and hell, the last preseason game, a lot of them aren't even going to play.
Yes, and I'm counting the week of prep for New England. You have 5 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think what's really important is the 2 practices against these teams, because that's where he's going to have contact.
I think if I'm going to focus on something in these 2 practices against one of the best defensive lines in NFL, my focus is going to be on getting that run game going and fits and yes. Do I want good snaps? Absolutely, but
that'll cost you a game, Omar. I mean, come on, you got to have the good snapping.
They're snaps that's making the quarterbacks jump a little, snaps that's making the quarterbacks lower their body a little bit so the handoff isn't perfect.
Right.
Could they lead to an errant snap in a game? Yes.
Yeah.
But these things happen. Listen, I'm more focused on, and just talking to their offensive line coach, I'm more focused on the surge that the center's going to create, because you've got a guy who isn't just somebody who fills in a spot or holds a gap, but they have Connor Williams out there moving people from the center spot. So he's got to snap the ball, and I saw him working on it with 2 after practice. He's got to snap the ball quickly and get 5 yards down the field. This isn't like easy work for people in this scheme. So they have a center doing a very specific job in a very specific role. Center's got to snap the ball. It's not like he's getting up and going like this. No, he's snapping the ball. Then he's getting 5 yards down the field or getting to his landmark. So it's not an easy transition for him. And I don't think it'll be easy transition for any center unless they played in this scheme.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. There's no doubt about that. All right. What else stood out to you today from camp? What did you like or didn't like? Give me something, an Omar observation.
I liked what I saw from Teron Armstead when he did practice in 11-on-11s. It was important for me to see. Athleticism, moving to his landmarks, getting downfield. I was like, okay, we can move. We got a tackle that can move.
He's a stud, bro. Come on.
Yeah, he's a stud. I'm getting a little bit more concerned about durability and body now than I was.
That's the only thing you should ever be concerned about with Teron Armstead. That's his only issue, dude. Really?
I'm a little bit more concerned now than I was previously, and I will acknowledge that. And I watched him, and this is going to sound really, I study bodies. I've done this for 15 years. And Teron Armstead, muscular up top, he looks like me in the gym. Stick legs. They're
Troy Drayton?
Probably, yeah.
Remember Troy Drayton?
and
was a big guy, and then he had little calves.
Yeah, it's like big, and then skinny legs, and I was like, wow, that body. I wanted to take a picture.
Remember David Boston? Like David Boston had this
Oh,
enormous body, and then if you looked at his calves, and you're like, yo, dude, the steroids didn't go all the way down. What happened there? Like they didn't travel down. They didn't travel down to your calves. What happened, David?
Wow, you went there.
What? It didn't. You don't think he juiced up a little bit back in those days?
Yeah. He
got too big. I think that's what ruined him. Actually, I thought by the time we got him, I looked at him and I was like, dude, you're a wide receiver, not a freaking defensive end. He was too wide already.
Yeah, he was it was stiff.
I thought it killed his flexibility and all that. And you don't want that for a wide receiver. You want flexibility. You want body. And he was a guy that had body control. That was one of the gifts he had in the air. He was very good with that. But as he got bigger and I think his legs too, just, I don't know.
Yeah. So I like Teron Armstead. What else did I see today? Love watching Xavier in one-on-ones against Tyreek. Really a great chess match. Shows you, Xavier is
elite.
Huh?
Elite versus elite. You know?
It's I mean, while Xavier is taking it easy during practice and rightfully so. I'm one of those believers that get Xavier into the games that matter, and then we'll worry about it then. He might take maybe 20 reps during practice and 20 full speed reps, and everything else is Xavier is just pacing himself, and I'm perfectly fine with that. I saw Channing Tindall today make a play or be in the range of making a play. That's an encouraging thing because I haven't seen him much the first week. One-on-ones. This is something I watch every day because now I've developed a curiosity for it. I've often wondered, why is John Jenkins still around? John Jenkins cannot be stopped one-on-one. And
good practice player is what you're saying?
I don't even see him in practice dominating or killing people, but in one-on-ones, he just bulls whoever he's playing to the center and to the quarterback, and it's like
I thought of that with Ingram today when I'm watching him, the outside linebacker.
Ingram's a stud.
But he hasn't been a stud the last couple of years as a player. He's been, serviceable. But watching him in practice, I'm like, this guy's awesome for linemen. This guy gives them a hell of a workout, bro, because he thumps in practice, dude. I like that part of it.
He doesn't play more than 600 snaps a season, and I think he's going to give you a phenomenal 400 snaps a season. And what that breaks down to per game, I don't know what it is, but it's going to be an impactful, like 20 plays. And your guy, Andrew Van Ginkel, is just
gonna be a stud this year. Gonna be a stud this year.
I'll give him this. Van Ginkel, I will say this, had the most well-rounded playlist that has of any orange jersey player. I did not hear Tyreek's Reggae Day, but right now, Van Ginkel, I might have to give Van Ginkel the crown. For I like my R&B and hip hop. You're probably more of an aficionado because you cover everything.
Oh, you had a little Ozzy Osbourne in there, bro. Yeah.
Listen, it wasn't like the typical rocker day where I'm like bored to death and don't want to hear that. And it's not like Tua Day where it's like, Tua's trying to be too cute with how eclectic he is and how he makes you feel like you're on a Hawaiian vacation. He wasn't Jalen Waddle who wants to trap music you to death. Javon Holland had a good sound too. I wasn't awake for half of Javon Holland's playlist, so I cannot give it its full due respect.
That is awesome. All right, what are you working on? Oh, by the way, one more thing. Let me see if I trip you out with this. After 1 week of going at camp, not that either guy has arrived, so please, none of you mistaken me on this. I might be slightly more concerned about Liam Eichenberg than Austin Jackson.
No.
I think from the practices I've been, he makes less mistakes than Eichenberg. It seems to me like Austin and now I talked about this, which is also unfair. Austin is happy. He's at his natural position, which is tackle.
Is it?
And Liam is not in his natural position at guard.
I think he's a guard.
But but it's more of an adjustment for Liam than Austin, because Austin is used to
people
thinking like a
Liam would be a guard in the NFL.
But in the week that you've watched, in the last week, would you say that Liam Eichenberg has made more mistakes than Austin Jackson? I'm just saying.
No.
Okay.
I will say that Liam is an orange jersey wearer, which means you've had consistent days. You just didn't flash, especially as an offensive lineman. You just didn't flash for one day. Today, Austin Jackson had his worst day. Emmanuel Ogbah has woken up out of his coma.
Today, I don't know if there were a lot of linemen that had good. Well, there was that one of the backups that actually played pretty well today, but not really the starters. Yeah, the starters didn't really do well today. They had some trouble today.
No. But in fairness to them, Josh Boyer has unleashed his real defense, or what we hope is his real defense. You couldn't, and I was very entertained by the chess match that Tua and Tyreek and Javon Holland and Boyer were playing, where you know how Holland moved out to cornerback territory, and and everybody's in the box, and Tua has to figure out where to go, what to do. And I think that was one of the throws to Tyreek. You know, what I like about this offense is they got answers. What I like about this defense is you don't know what's coming. Like, before the snap is like, surprise, mother, you know, and a lot of times Tua's like standing there like, holy crap. And then sometimes Tua's out there whooping, you know, out there, they got him with their pants down.
Right.
And it's a chess match on a daily basis, and I love it. I love it.
Because Holland is one of the few safeties in the league that can play your slot, that can play outside, that will run defend, and that can play center field. And there's not a lot of safeties that have that kind of versatility. So you can F with the offense by going, wait a minute, I thought he was a free. What the hell is he doing at the slot?
And I said Flores. Even McDaniel said it. He's enjoying the chess match between Javon and Tua. And it's probably, I'm trying to think now, because Rashad Jones was an elite safety. And Jeremiah Bell was an upper echelon safety during their career. But we've never had a safety that can do what Javon Holland is doing. Which is you could do, like, you don't know, based on what Javon can do, you have no idea what they're doing on a given snap basis.
Well, not only that, if there's somebody that's hurting you, that's out, like X is taking care of one guy, but there's somebody else kind of terrorizing you in the middle of the field.
Let's not put that on him. He ain't ready for that.
Wait a minute. Would you let me finish? X obviously is covering the main guy. Correct. But if there's another guy that's working the middle of the field, kind of terrorizing you, and your slot guy a little undersized or whatever is struggling with it, you can actually move Holland over to the guy to kind of slow things down, because you're not going to bring Jones inside. You're going to keep Jones on the outside. I'm not telling you that Javon Holland is there to take the number one guy off the team and shut him down. You already have that guy. His name is Xavier Howard.
I wouldn't feel comfortable.
My point is, if there's a complimentary guy that's kind of, you know, giving you a pain in the ass, you could actually sick Javon Holland on him.
I don't know about all that. I don't see that.
A lot of NFL people thought that he could do that, because that was my guy.
I don't know about that. I don't see that. I'm not gonna say that he can do that. Even when he takes on one-on-ones, it's not like he's locking people down. And I'm not saying that one-on-ones is a great indicator, because one-on-ones, this is why people don't understand why I don't watch one-on-one offensive players. Like when it's one-on-one, everybody's watching the ball. You know what I'm watching? I'm watching the offensive lineman versus defensive lineman.
Right.
Because it's a much bigger indicator to me who can beat, that's what they do on the offensive defensive line.
You won't be able to pass if the guys aren't blocking. So,
yeah. So
I'm with you.
And if I can whoop you one-on-one, then it's an indicator to me that somebody's really good or somebody's really bad. Now, if we're having a stalemate, then I'm like, all right, we're stalemate. So, but on offense, one-on-ones, like the offensive player is meant to win. They're designed to win. Like, look at how many double moves these wide receivers run on these guys one-on-ones, and then they catch the ball, and fans are like, oh, yay! Like, celebration, they scored. I'm like, the only time I pay attention to one-on-ones, offense versus defense, is if the defense makes a good play. Because
that's because that's huge. Because they have the advantage. The other side has the advantage. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm with X recovers. Like, no matter what you do to X is going to recover. And put himself in position to either be there so you're defended or make a play. That's a rare skill set to have. Like, I don't think it exists on the team outside of X. But you know what bothers me? And the inactivity of the tight end, the invisibility of the tight end, I couldn't tell you what number Adam Shaheen is wearing. I couldn't tell you if Mike Gesicki has 5 catches in the last 8 practice, I'd be shocked.
Yes, I agree. Now, let's follow up on that. Is that by design? Because I'm getting the feeling that early part of this, they're more worried about their blocking assignments and make sure that they're a big part of the running game, because we're seeing a lot of 12 personnel too, right? And you're seeing a lot. I think you're going to see a lot of 12 personnel. We're going to see a lot of tight ends set. And so I think they're more worried about that part of it, because one, how in the I was going to talk about this, so this is going to take a little sauce away from one of the segments I was going to do, but Gesicki has the opportunity of a lifetime, because he has a chance to make a lot of money next year, no matter where he goes. Mm-hmm. But somehow or another, if he can figure out how to block, he'll become that much more valuable, not just to Miami. Anyone in the league is going to say, holy shit, Mike Gesicki can block, so he can catch and block. Oh, yeah, we're going to sign him. So he has a great opportunity to pick up that other part of his game if it's in him, if he can get it done or whatever. But I think in their eyes, they need to find out whether he can block, and they got to try to make him a blocker. And if they don't make him a blocker, if they can't make him a serviceable blocker by trading deadline, well, guess what? You know that 3rd round pick you lost? Well, you might go out and try to get it back now by trading him to a contender or somebody that needs something, in the deadline or something like that. So my point is that I wonder if it's more by design early on that they want to really get these guys engulfed in the running game. And I don't know if you saw Poop today. He wrote an article about whether Durham Smythe could end up becoming the number 1 tight end on the team. And the way he's kind of explaining it, you never know. It's true, because he is the blocker, and he's turned himself into a serviceable pass catcher. Now, is he going to be Kittle or anything like that? Of course not. Is he going to be Gesicki as a pass catcher? Of course not. But because you can help out in the blocking, well, okay, now you can keep my defenses off balance, because they don't know if I'm going to throw to you or you're actually going to block. But if I throw Gesicki in there, you know what I'm doing. And so,
which is what I've been complaining to you about for 2 years.
I get that, Omar, but when you have an offense that doesn't require it, you can live with Gesicki, like plenty of other tight ends in this league that don't block. But now you've got an offense that it is required to do it. So that's why I ask you: do you think it's because they're throwing so few passes? It has to be by design, my brother. Right?
It has to be by design. I don't disagree with you. But then why the heck did Tanner Connor have the practice of the day on Wednesday And who the hell is Tanner Connor?
Right.
And why wasn't Mike Gesicki in those plays and in that situation? And you know,
and maybe they're not comfortable with the blocking of Mike Gesicki in that play.
But this
and
is
so
a
they've
former
had to
wide
use,
receiver.
huh?
This is a former.
What?
Here's my thing. If you're not gonna have and I hate that this conversation. I know this conversation is gonna be dissected to death, as they always are. But if you're not going to have Mike Gesicki out there with the starters, and he's not part of the 11 package or the 12 package, and I don't argue against that, because you know what my issue is with Mike. When you put him on the field, what are you doing? You're passing.
Yeah.
And this offense, you cannot telegraph what you're doing before the play, and blocking is a priority. So why not have him down there with the second team? Why not have him as Teddy Bridgewater's go-to target, so that you could see if he could work on his blocking? You could see if he can get better in, because they run the same plays for first, second, and third team, and we just don't see Gesicki. It's not like we don't.
Yeah.
We just, like, I don't know if he's healthy. I think he's healthy, because anytime he gets the ball, he's running like a gazelle.
Yeah, he looks healthy. Yeah, it's not.
He hasn't been after practice. What I will say this, and Mike is always the last guy on the jugs machine after practice. And
He wasn't today.
He's not. He hasn't been for the past couple of days. And you know, I don't know what's going on. We'll know more Tampa Bay week. Also, they haven't been really working on their third down stuff. Mike's a third down weapon. Mike's a third down on the field guy. You know, they haven't really done a lot of third down. They haven't really done a lot of red zone. So, or at least not the days that I was, you know, upright. It's so I don't know what's happening. All I know is they say they have a tremendous amount of respect for Mike. We all know Mike is a weapon. We all know his limitations. We all know that they say, hey, we're gonna teach him how to block. Well, my point is, I'm not seeing a lot of that teach him how to block going on.
Right. No, I'm with you. I mean, you're watching the sidelines today, the guys, how they're working on punching and how they're working on their blocking and those kind of things. And then you don't see that with Mike Gesicki. And yeah, you're right about that. It's not something that we're watching out there at times. You would figure maybe you would do some one-on-ones with him like you do with the O&D linemen too. You know what I mean?
That's a very good point.
None of that.
I don't know. I'm not stressing it, because Mike's got his $10 million.
Right.
And Mike will be fine one way or the other. And Mike doesn't complain. And Mike doesn't create drama. You know, he's matured. So they'll figure it out.
I'm with you. All right. What are you working on, the Sun Sentinel, so folks can check you out, my friend? And you got I Am Athlete tonight, right? I don't know. Are you on tonight?
No, I did it last night. So I have a rare Friday off. I am working on
not bad sushi, right? You're not working on any bad sushi, right? Okay.
Stop. I'm working on, you know, the power of the playlist. That's what I'm working on.
Okay.
Like players put a lot of respect and effort, and it's such an honor to them. Like it's such an interesting concept, and they take that playlist very seriously. And you get the text, and then you feel that pressure to make that playlist right, so that your teammates don't complain. And you know, everybody walks off. I remember Tua, the day he had it, he was asking the teammate, I can't remember which teammate it was. He was like, "How you like that playlist?" And the teammate lied to him, of course, because that's what you do to your leaders. You say, "Good job, Tua."
Yep, exactly. They all tell Stephen Ross good job when they're like, yeah, this fucking guy. All right. Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
You never got my take on that, I don't think. Did you?
Let us have it. Let's go. Go ahead. We're digital. I don't give a shit how long the segment goes or how short it is. Doesn't matter. As long as we get the segment in and we get talking. But if you got, I know I spoke my piece about that shit. So,
hey,
you know,
the NFL should really be ashamed of themselves. This should be added to the Flores lawsuit because you're basically showing that you can't and won't police yourself.
Right. And you tanked, but you don't want to blame Ross for it because then the whole league and you're sleeping with DraftKings and all these people, and then all of a sudden,
absolutely,
you're gonna bring so much trouble on yourself when you admit that an owner was taking.
This is more proof and evidence that you cannot and will not police yourself, which I'm fine with. Everybody tampers, everybody tanks.
Yeah, but this idiot is the only one that gets caught doing it. I mean, everybody. The Heat tanked the year they got Michael Beasley.
You telling me that Indianapolis couldn't get caught if they did a probe and investigation into their tanking when they got Andrew Luck?
Well, obviously they did it the right way, dude.
What's
but they played Curtis Painter, they played their Josh Rosen, and they stuck to their Josh Rosen. We didn't stick to our Josh Rosen, and that was the problem. That's all. You could have gone on and say, guys, this is a developmental year. We're going to play all the young guys because we want to find out who's the future.
See, but if you're saying
and that's
that,
it, you didn't sell them the bullshit.
If you're saying, and that's the thing, and this is why I'm always, whenever anybody ever says the Dolphins didn't tank, I say bullshit, and I give you two pieces of evidence.
No. Flo didn't tank. The team did not tank. The owner.
The organization tanked.
The organization tried
to tank. The organization tanked.
Right. The organization set it up for.
He was the only moron who didn't do what they were supposed to be doing.
Right. The coach and the players, because normally the players will never tank. Any player that tanks, he's probably Preston Williams or something like that because he's just lazy. You know what I mean? It's not that they're tanking. They're just lazy. That's all it is. There's a difference. Players will not tank because that's their resume. Normally, that's just the way it is. And coaches normally weren't going to tank because that's their jobs on the line. But that guy had job security because they gave him a 5-year contract. So whatever. The problem is you hired the wrong guy.
No.
When you hired him, you should have said, hey, all right, we're giving you a 5-year contract. You understand we're really not trying to win this first year, correct?
And
before you sign this contract, you realize we're really not trying to win this year, right? We're really going to try.
And this is the concept and part of it that blows my mind. And Flo will swear that conversation never happened. And as I said to him on the I Am Athlete interview, bro,
and that's believable because it's Stephen Ross who does a lot of stupid shit.
If you're claiming a guy on Tuesday and starting him on Sunday consistently.
Yeah.
Whether the organization said, hey, we claim Nate Webster, you're going to have to start him on Sunday. Somebody's giving you that directive. And there's a reason why they're giving you that directive. What do you think that reason is?
Right. Yeah, of course.
So don't claim you didn't know what was going on.
Right. Well, listen, the thing I hate about Flo too is, dude, you were with Belichick for 16 years. So now's when you get scruples. Now's when you don't want to cheat. Now's when you don't want to do things. Come on, bro. You were with King Cheater for 16 years. You know all the shit that guy pulls consistently. Everybody knows. The whole league knows. The whole league is terrified of going to Gillette Stadium because mysteriously their headsets don't work. Everybody knows it. It happens to all the teams. Like, yo, what happened? I can't communicate. Oh, fuck. That's right. We're in Gillette Stadium. I mean, everybody knows it, bro. So all of a sudden now you got scruples.
If you're doing shenanigans, you're doing it at the top level, and you don't tell everybody about your shenanigans.
Yeah, exactly it. You're right. I don't. You know what? And I love Barry, right? But I'll disagree with him, and I'll tell him. And his article where he went out on Flo, I'm sorry, dude. I don't blame Flo for a goddamn thing on all of this. You blame the owner. The owner is the one that always puts himself in this position. That's it. There's no one else. Do not blame anybody except Stephen Ross and Bruce Beal. Those are the two guys that deserve the entire blame for everything. Why the hell do you hire Chris Greer when all you're going to do is try to screw him over and go above him? Because he's not the one that wants Brady. He's not the one that wants Sean Payton so he can lose his power. He's not the guy that wants Watson. No, it's Flo and then the two owners playing general manager. So what the hell do you hire Marvin Allen and Reggie McKenzie so they can do their damn job?
I think you're wrong on that on a certain level, but I'm not going to go into that because I would like to enjoy my final week without people telling me telling me their agenda or that they didn't do anything. I just want to have a peaceful final week. Here's the thing that I disagree with you on. If Stephen Ross had at any point convinced Tom Brady to become part of the Dolphins organization, whether it be owner, GM, quarterback, South Florida would have celebrated.
Sure,
maybe not true.
And if I win the Powerball, yeah, I'm going to be happy too. And if I had wheels, I'd be a bicycle.
Okay.
And the bottom line is you got to get it done. This is the same clown. And see, when you say in your thing, oh, and we still challenge their findings and all that, dude, you have no credibility. You went to go get Harbaugh. Shut up, Stephen Ross already. Stop already, dude. Do you know that he's a perennial cheater now? Now he's a habitual cheater and he's a habitual liar now. Besides being the owner of the Miami Dolphins, Stephen Ross is a habitual liar and a habitual cheater. That is reputation now. I don't think he understands that.
I don't think he cares.
So please stop telling us that others are lying when you have no credibility. I mean, dude, you went to go get Harbaugh. So don't tell me that you didn't try to get Brady and everything else.
He never denied that. He never denied any of that. He did not deny any of that.
He's denying the tampering. Dude, I'd respect you more if you just lay on the sword. I apologize, nation. I tried. I was overzealous. I wanted to win so desperately. And yes, I tried to get the quarterback and I failed. And yes, I did tamper and I apologize that my team has to lose a first and a third. I would at least respect that. But you're going to lie all the way to the end, even after you got busted? What are you, my 10-year-old kid? Come on, dude. Seriously. That's what a 10-year-old does, Omar. You bust the 10-year-old, and the 10-year-old keeps telling you, no, I didn't do it.
If I stick to the lie, eventually you're going to believe it.
Oh, well, yeah.
Alex
Jones made people think that Sandy Hook didn't happen. You got a guy with orange hair that keeps repeating the lie about the election, and people believe it. So, yes, you are right. In this world, you repeat the lie enough, you'll sucker enough people. Yes, you are correct.
If I consistently talk about, say, the lie,
yeah,
somebody's going to believe it.
You're right.
Listen, but as I said, if you deliver Tom Brady or delivered Sean Payton or delivered Tom Brady and Sean Payton, Dolphins would be the hottest team in the NFL. Yeah. His problem is he swings for the fences all the time, and he's a 220 hitter.
Yeah, but he's got a wiffle ball bat. The baseball's coming down the pike, and you're swinging with a wiffle ball bat. No, it's going to give. And that's the problem with
he's got a real legitimate
Stephen Ross's wiffle ball bat. He needs a little Viagra in that bat.
The bat's a little heavy for him, and his swing is a little late. But one day he's going to get his strength up, and he's actually going to hit a home run. One day. I don't know when.
Omar, he did it already. He hired Chris Greer. Let the man do his job. Leave him alone. Let him do the job, and that you will be just fine. You just took away a first and a third from the guy that he's been working hard.
Chris Greer's been here for 20 years. If he needed a first and a third, he should have took care of it in 2020 when he had 3 first-round picks. And
he's in charge now, and that's what counts. Okay, so he's in charge. He's created all.
Love Chris Greer. Don't know if he's the answer.
Well, I look at his work and I say he is the answer. But you gotta. He screwed up with the coach in hiring the wrong coach. Now, hopefully, he got it right with this coach. But what you got to do is you can't have the owners cock blocking you.
This ain't even his hire, bro.
Yeah.
Like, listen, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the Dolphins. I think they got a good hire. How long they'll stay committed to him. Results. Let's get out there and do it. I love what I'm seeing so far. Tampa Bay week, it will probably be the great equalizer, and we'll see what comes from that.
We will find out. Aaron Wilson, by the way, says the NFLPA announces it has filed a written reply to appeal Deshaun Watson's disciplinary matter. They had until midnight to do so, per a league source, according to Aaron Wilson. All right. See what happens there. Follow him on Twitter at Omar Kelly. Catch his work there for now at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. So subscribe and follow Omar Kelly there at the Sun Sentinel for now. And Omar, have a fantastic weekend. I'll see you tomorrow over at camp, bro.
All right.
You got it. Omar Kelly.
You've been listening to the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins Report with Omar Kelly. For additions, home remodeling, or custom work, call Eric at 305-433-4843. EJDconstruction.com is the custom home builder and general contractor you can trust. 305-433-4843.
We thank Omar Kelly. Thank you as always. Don't forget, our show is proudly brought to you by Edge Energy Drink, folks. You want the best energy drink on the planet. You can't get it in a store. You can't walk into 7-Eleven or CVS. Can't go to Sedano's. Can't go to Publix. No. You got to go to myedgedrink.com, and the convenience is it comes to you. You don't have to go to it. It comes to you. It gives you the edge. That's right. And you're going to get 10% off. Use our code BIG-O. Delicious, smooth, and zero aftertaste. And when it comes to an elixir, oh my Lord, when you mix it up with a vodka, a little rum, my wife mixes it up with rum. I mix it up with my Grey Goose, and it is so good, man. But it is straight up just a delicious drink. When I tell you delicious, when I tell you smooth, and when I tell you zero aftertaste and only 78 calories, you cannot go wrong. You will never have another energy drink ever again after you try the Edge, because you will have the edge. So go to myedgedrink.com. That's myedgedrink.com. Order it and use my code BIG-O and save 10% off. myedgedrink.com, code BIG-O. Sorry, Big O. Chris Greer is not a top general manager. He should have been shown the door with Flores. There you go, Big D. Tua missed every throw today. He didn't miss every throw today. He hit a couple, but he was off today. Today wasn't a good day. No turnovers, but it wasn't a good day. And hey, listen, man, I'm fine. I have no problem. In another year or two, I'll be laughing at all of you that doubted Tua and Chris Greer. So that's fine. I'm not worried about it. So, let's see. You're wrong. Oh, okay. You're talking to somebody else. Okay. What else do we have here on Le Program? You know, one of the things that I saw today, a couple things. First of all, the Saints signed former Spicoli linebacker for the Miami Dolphins, Kiko Alonso. And they ended up needing a linebacker, so they went back to the well, and they signed Kiko Alonso. Nice guy, but completely Spicoli. And boy, what an overrated player! Some of you out there, you fell for like the hook, line, and sinker of Kiko Alonso. That's a guy that I don't think I saw a linebacker run out of more plays than Kiko Alonso. But no, you'll remember the one interception as this amazing day. An amazing career or something. Ravens, former Dolphin. They lose Vince Beagle to another Achilles injury. He suffered one here, and he's tried to get back healthy. They didn't re-sign him here after he came back from his injury. Missed all of last year. Went and signed with the Ravens this offseason. Unfortunately, the dude ended up suffering an Achilles injury. I thought he was a pretty cool pickup a couple of years ago when they used him as a pass rusher, a situational pass rusher. I thought he did a fantastic job. Former Dolphins running backs coach James Saxon arrested for domestic violence. So 3 guys there that had Dolphin ties in the news in the NFL. What else do we have to talk about in the world of sports? By the way, when we talk about sports and business colliding, we have something that we like to do, and it's called the KSDT Sports Business Report. All right. Here we go. The Big Ten TV deal, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And listen, I think what happened in the pandemic was something eye-opening for a lot of TV and platforms, because sports was able to move along a lot faster than movies and TV shows and things like that. And it became a saving grace for a lot of people, and especially on TV, because you think about it, it took forever for you to get your TV shows back and movies into theaters and all that kind of stuff. Meanwhile, like UFC never stopped. Dana White did a fabulous job because he didn't really need the audience in the stands. So, and that sport is so individual to itself that you only need a few people. So the production wasn't really a lot of people, and you can kind of keep distance and all that kind of stuff. So you were able to get away with it. But then soccer came back and other sports came back, and they did it without the crowds because the crowds were on television. The crowds are on apps now. And so I think the pandemic did a lot to open up eyes from all these companies. And they said, okay, this is the kind of stuff that we have to have part of our repertoire, our arsenal, because if anything happens, sports seems to be the ultimate thing that can bring audiences to us, and even in tough situations like what we had with the pandemic. And because the pandemic still isn't over, and we're still in this whole stages of dealing with this crap, I think sports has become that much more important to these platforms and these TV companies. So with the additions of USC and UCLA now, the Big Ten now is hoping to earn 50% more in media rights fees. We're talking about $1.25 billion. Now it's at $1.5 billion annually. If the conference can pull it off, it would become the richest in all of college sports, with a media deal that dwarfs even the mighty Southeastern Conference. The Big Ten told FOS, that's Front Office Sports, it's grateful for the quality and quantity of potential media partners. At this time, it would be inappropriate to speculate during ongoing negotiations. Big Ten Commissioner Kevin Warren said publicly that the conference was finalizing negotiations. The Big Ten's current deal pays $440 million annually right now. They're going to go from $440 million to $1.5 billion. The deal includes a conglomeration of big networks, but there's growing frustration over the role of Fox Sports in the Big Ten media negotiations. Fox is the conference's primary TV partner and part owner of the Big Ten network. Fox executives are directly involved in the negotiations. Sports TV executives from ESPN, NBC, and CBS are uncomfortable submitting financial bids and sharing their information in front of rivals, which there is a conflict of interest here with all of this. So we'll see what ends up happening and who ends up winning it. But now $1.5 billion, which tells me once the SEC gets a hold of Clemson, probably Miami, and I would think Florida State also, and brings them over, and then they negotiate their future contract, they're a better conference as it is. I got to imagine it's going to hit the $2 billion mark, right? I mean, there's nothing better than the SEC. So I would imagine that that's what's going to end up happening. That is your KSDT Sports Business Report.
This has been the KSDT Sports Business Report. KSDT CPA is one of South Florida's largest and one of the country's fastest growing accounting firms. KSDT is recognized by Forbes as one of the top tax and accounting firms for 2022. KSDT CPA is a full service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit online at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370.
You know, we love music on the show, and give you a little history today on August 5th. Back in 2003, Smash Mouth released their album Get the Picture and celebrated with a performance at New York's Toys R Us. No longer. In 67, on this date, Pink Floyd released their debut album, The Piper at the Gates of Dawn. In 83, David Crosby was sentenced to 5 years in jail in Texas for cocaine and firearms possession. The singer had slept through most of his trial. In 72, Clive Davis signed a young band called Aerosmith to CBS Records after seeing them play at Max's Kansas City in New York. They received $125,000 at the signing. In 57, American Bandstand first aired nationally on this date. In 2001, the Foo Fighters treated 300 lucky fans to an intimate show at the LA's Troubadour. The fans were selected from a pool of email entries on the band's website. That is very cool, by the way. And I've been to a concert at the Troubadour. It's a cool place and legendary place. In 75, on this date, Joan Jett and drummer Sandy West formed the all-female heavy rock band, The Runaways. There you go. That's what happened today, August 5th, in music history. I forgot who it was that we were talking to. Somebody mentioned to me the Silver Sun pickups. And I told you I became a big fan of the Silver Sun pickups thanks to my boy Bill, rest in peace, my best friend, who unfortunately is no longer with us. The good news, the Silver Sun pickups are coming to Florida. They have announced their Physical Thrills tour. Their new album comes out August 19th. I'm not going to give you all the dates across the country. You can go check it out at Silver Sun Pickups, their website. But for those of you that live in this state, they're not coming to South Florida. November 14th, they'll be at the House of Blues there in Lake Buena Vista. And November 15th, they'll be at a place in St. Petersburg called Janice Live. So there you go in St. Pete. So if you happen to know where Janice Live is in St. Pete, November 15th, you will be able to see the Silver Sun Pickups. Good band, by the way. If you don't know anything about them, give them a listen. Very good. Could Durham Smythe be the starting tight end instead of Mike Gesicki? You know, I saw that article from Alan Poupar, who joined us yesterday on the show. And I thought it was a very interesting article and something very interesting that he points out, because it's so, you know, it's like an obvious thing that Gesicki will be the starter, right? He should be the starter because he's the best pass catcher on the team. He's a dynamic pass catcher, a super athletic pass catcher. Love watching him play on offense, but blocking is an issue. And it's interesting, all the different avenues that are going on right now, because he is now given, you know, he got his $10 million deal, his 1-year deal, his tag. And now he has to play on that tag and try and set himself up for the future. Mike Gesicki is going to make good money no matter what happens at the end of the year, barring injury, of course, which could stop anything and derail anything, right? But Mike Gesicki has got the opportunity of a lifetime right now. And I mean that because if he can actually turn himself into a blocker, he's going to end up making even more money than he thought he would, because he and his agent can't walk into a contract negotiation and say, well, I'm a two-way player. No, you're not. You're only an offensive player. You're not a blocker. You're not a two-way player. And he can't make that argument now, right? But if somehow or another the light goes on and he figures out how to become a consistent blocker, I'm not telling you dominant, but consistent, he is going to become incredibly valuable, not just to Miami, who will want to keep him then, but to every other team too. But Durham Smythe is the guy that can block, is the guy that has worked on becoming a better pass catcher. Now, is he dynamic? No. Is he the athlete that Gesicki is? No. Can he high point the ball the way Gesicki can? No. So you will lose a dimension by using him on the offensive side. But do you gain a dimension by using him as a blocker? And when Alan Poupart brings that up, it almost sounds blasphemous because Mike Gesicki is the heir apparent, because he is the better pass catcher. The problem is, in this offense, it is required for you to also be blocking almost as much as pass catching. And that's where the gap needs to be bridged for a guy like Mike Gesicki. Will he be able to do it? That is $1 million question. And there's a shit ton of people out there that are saying, nah, it's not him. Never has been him at Penn State. Hasn't been him here in Miami. I don't expect him to be that, right? But others have climbed out of those doubts in other ways and fashions to prove all of us wrong in one way or another in life. We'll see if he can do it. But the fact that Durham Smythe could be considered a starter, tell you, Hunter Long's another one. He's considered more of a blocker, and he's more of an athlete than Durham Smythe. And if you decide within the first 4 to 6 weeks that Gesicki's not making progress as a blocker, he may not be on the field nearly as much. And if Hunter Long can make progress as a blocker and then slowly grow as a pass catcher, just like Smythe, that just might be more valuable to this offense. Remember, we talked about earlier on the show and with Omar, you can't block, you're probably not going to be able to pass, and you're not going to be able to run. And that's been a problem for the Miami Dolphins. And this coach knows it. This staff knows it. They've got to get them to run the ball, because that's how the misdirection is going to work out. That's how play action is going to work out. This is what's going to give your quarterback, whether it's Tua or anybody else, an advantage when you can sell the run. But you sell the run with more than just 5 players on the line. You sell it with a fullback. You sell it with a tight end. You sell it with wide receivers blocking. Others are going to have to contribute in that running game. So Mike Gesicki has a chance to have it all. Get his pass-catching contract, and if he can learn how to block, then get a full-ass contract for a two-way player. But he also has, and it's very realistic, a very good chance of not playing a lot because he just cannot get the blocking down right. And that's what will open up the door for Smythe and for Hunter. Our number 3 of the program is next.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com. South Florida's premier law enforcement agency is now hiring individuals like you. The Fort Lauderdale Police Department is now accepting applications for non-certified and certified police officer positions. Minimum requirements and qualifications can be found at FLPDjobs.com. That's FLPDjobs.com. Are you ready? The city of Fort Lauderdale is an equal opportunity employer.
What? Oh, look.
Hey guys, this is Hayden Hurst, NFL tight end. I'm partnering today with Red Recover. We're gonna run you guys through some drills. I started using Red Recover last year, my 4th year in the NFL. It just helps me on Mondays after games, get my recovery process started, get back into the fold of the week, and get ready for the following Sunday. And if you wanna recover like me, use Red Recover.
When you need your warehouse looking good while staying efficient, there's only one place to find the finest racks in the business. Pallet Rack City in Hialeah. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. Pallet Rack City is the company you need when you want your warehouse sporting the finest racks in the business. After all, who doesn't love a great rack? Pallet Rack City. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All right. By the way, if you want to get in on the Welt and Realm text line, it's really simple. All you got to do is 855-912-1056. That's 855-912-1056. If you want to get in on the Welt and Realm text line. I love how you're at camp asking questions like, seriously, it makes my day. I can imagine and laugh. Had you been able to interact with Flo and his staff last season, they'd probably kick you out of the building for calling those suckers out. Love the show. Yeah, it was we were kind of reestablishing everything. And last year I was in the middle of I think, what was it? It was kind of onside, weren't we, Sean? Then onside, and we started on June 14th. No, we were available for all of last season. Yeah. We were just kind of at another stage, of building this thing. It was just at the beginning of building the podcast itself. And we've kind of built the podcast now, and it's growing and all that. The audio side is monstrous. Okay. We're doing great. And we thank you all so much for downloading the show every single day. And one of the things, honestly, what we're doing now is building up the YouTube channels. And part of that is getting the content that people need on YouTube. So we're working on all of that now. And you'll see us more at Heat games. We're going to be out there covering those events too. So yeah, we're just doing our thing. So I appreciate all of you out there. If you have any questions, fire away. I got some stuff I want to talk about. But if you got questions, any sports questions, life, crypto, whatever the hell you want to get off your chest, tell us. Sean, the great Sean Stanley, sir. Yes, sir. What's up?
Got a question for you.
Oh, you've got a question.
What happened there? Why did it disappear?
I don't know.
Oh, we're doing the same thing again. You're hitting it and I'm hitting it.
Hitting it.
There we go.
Tap that app.
Tap the app.
All right, where you go?
Hey, I don't know if you saw the latest on the Calgary Flames.
No, what happened? I know Huberdeau got his contract. What happened?
Next week, they will sit down with Mackenzie Weegar and talk out an extension. So they will keep both of them and still get the first round pick.
All right, good.
Looks like they're going to keep them both. I mean, again, details.
You gave up a superstar. You better kind of justify it by keeping some of that, because that first round pick doesn't mean shit if he doesn't turn into a hell of a player, because you gave up a hell of a player. You know what? Good for them, man. Good for Huberdeau. He had to get his money. I have no problem with that. Weegar did a good job, although I still, that playoff mistake was enormous. He had a couple mistakes in the playoffs that were just devastating. But yeah, no, he did a good job overall, and he's up for a big contract. So I get it, man. They've got to justify that move, Sean. And if you don't sign those guys, the deal doesn't look as good to the Calgary fans. So I understand that. And you're Calgary. You're not a sexy destination.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then also, you said, again, the way the Panthers, the reason they had to put the first round pick on there because they didn't know if they were going to re-sign him. So in order to make the move happen, you had to do the sweetener.
Right. Exactly. And they're going to do what they have to do. They had to overpay for Huberto, even though he's going to go into his late 30s with that contract. And they'll probably overpay for Uyghur because you're Calgary. And that's what you have to do when you're the Cleveland Cavaliers and you're the Orlando Magic and, you're the Detroit Lions and things like that. When you're not a sexy destination in your league, you are going to have to overpay. So, yeah, no doubt about it. I only listen because the only one that is articulate enough to speak on the Dolphins. The rest of your material I could care nothing about, says Sean. Well, thank you, Sean, for not caring about all of any of the material, but you do care about me. Okay. Do you listen to Sean too? Come on, you got to listen to Sean also, right? A little wrestling. It's a Sean listening to a Sean. Come on. Sean's got to support each other. Christopher Ebersol says, Big O, you're the man. My Bradley Ebersol got a shout out from you 2 days ago. So the Christopher Ebersol and now the Bradley Ebersol. I got you. That's my brother Bradley, he says. There we go. Rosendo, love how McDaniel reacted to your question, and he stares at your question, sort of doing that Jack Benny impersonation. He's a likable guy. How can a professional football player not know or want to block? It's part of the job. Well, it's Brett. He's not the first tight end that doesn't block. Keith Jackson didn't block, my brother. Okay. Let's not make it sound like all tight ends were blocking in the history of the NFL. Keith Jackson maybe stood in front of you and said, well, you can go around me. That way I bought my quarterback a half a second. But Keith Jackson wasn't blocking anybody, my brother. Okay? So let's not make it sound like that. Let's follow the history of our game. And there's been a lot of tight ends that didn't block. Let's see if he can learn. Some guys are like that. Sometimes I'll give it's a great example. Here's a great example. You say, how can a professional football player not know or want to block? It's part of his job. Okay. How can a quarterback get to the NFL and not know how to read defenses? Do you know why? I'll tell you why, my friend Brett Dodger. Because he went to an offense where they thought for him and they put up cards. And then the cards and the signals and all that were signals for the receivers and signals for the line and signals for the quarterback. And so the quarterback didn't have to learn everybody's job. He just has to know what he has to do. So now you dumb down your quarterback. So when he gets to the NFL, now he has to learn how to do that. And you could be in an offense where the tight end, they got you off the line. They don't need you to block that much. They want you as a wide receiver. So it's not your fault. They didn't teach you that. It's because they didn't need you to learn that. So they can use you without that. Oh, no, we got our blocking tight end. We're going to use you as a pass catcher. This happens all the time in different positions because of, example, you're a quarterback, okay? You're in a running offense, right? And you didn't really have a deep passing game, a deep playbook. And so now you get to the NFL and all of a sudden, now you've got to learn a variety of routes and plays and all, and it is overloading. Well, wait a minute. How can a quarterback not know how to read offenses and all kind? Well, they didn't use him that way. Well, how come he can't block? Well, they didn't use him that way. That's kind of what happens at times. You're an offensive lineman. You end up at, I don't know, give me a school that passes like shit and barely runs. God, you're with Mouse Davis or you're with the Hawaii guy, June Jones. And so, they're these pass happy guys. And they don't really believe in the run nearly as much. The run is kind of a offset of the passing game. So all of a sudden, you're a lineman and you did a lot of pass pro, not a lot of run. So now you're not a great run grader, road grader, whatever you want to call it. Now, when you get to the NFL, it's like, well, I was in pass protection most of the time. We barely did a lot of run, which happens. It's not the lineman's fault. It's how he was, the system he was in. So it's not that he is not a good run blocker or that he can't run block. It's just that they didn't make him do that. So now he's poor at it. So the question now will be with Gesicki is you haven't needed him to block. You didn't need him at Penn State to block. You didn't use him that way, and you haven't used him that way now. So now you've got to find out if you can teach him that and if he can become that. And it's something that we just don't know. But it happens to players at different positions all the time. And it's just not their fault. And sometimes they weren't given all the options. They weren't given the entire education. So they get to you and they lack certain education. They lack certain practices. Now you've got to implement. That's the difficulty of scouting, because you have to project. Because the reality is you're getting a lot of players that are going from a completely different system to your system. And then you've got to then try to figure out, can they translate from one to another? And that's what becomes the job of scouting, and the job of coaching becomes that much more difficult. It's, the Heat. Don't they run into that all the time? Don't you got to play defense here with the Heat? Does every team in the NBA play defense? No. Does every team in college basketball play defense? Hell no. So you get guys that can't play defense at all. But it's not that they don't know or whatever. They just didn't need it. And their coach was fine with them being a half-assed defender because they can shoot. That's all. We all lack an education or lack knowledge in something that we're about to do that's new. Oh, we weren't taught this. We weren't taught that. But we're trying to adjust now and learn so we can do it the right way. Do it completely right, So don't point fingers at players when that can happen to us and them all the time. Not everyone at all positions can do everything. They have flaws. It's how you produce their great qualities. Amen to that, man of 1,005 holds. I'm worried about Tua in the cold weather games. Tennessee was troublesome. The problem with Tennessee was they didn't run the ball while the other side was running the ball. And in the first half, they ran the ball. And then the second half, wait a minute, you're averaging 4 or 5 yards a carry. Why don't you keep running? So, again, Tua's not the problem. Stupidity, coaching, a lack of play design, play calling, just everything around Tua just gave him very little to have an advantage. So Green Lion, I completely disagree. I'm sorry, Squeeze, I completely disagree with you. Green Lion says, I might be one of the few that believes that this offensive line is the most important part of the offense. Run the ball. Exactly. You have to run the ball. Everything else will flow after that. Please smash the like button. Don't forget to hit our other channel. Subscribe to Big O Show Cuts. We need to get that one to 1,000. So please subscribe and hit the notification bell to Big O Show Cuts. And here also, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when we come on, because sometimes we're not on in the morning and then you're sending me a tweet, a DM, hey, where are you? Are you going to be on? And it's like, yeah, we told you we're going to be at camp, so we're not going to be on in the morning. We're going to be on in the afternoon. So hit the notification bell, and that'll tell you when we're on. You'll know right away. A lot of running backs can't block as pass catchers. Nikki Davis, you are 1,000% right. Big O is in the house. That explanation was flawless. Thank you, Ian. Let's see. Still had and has a great running back, receiver, and tight end, Scummy. Karen S. says, found out Isaiah Ford is with the Colts. Mind blown. Wish him well. Very gritty. Yes. Yes, but they're loaded at this point. They don't need him. But I wish him the best. I like him. I've become an Isaiah Ford fan. I will say that. I like that kid. By the way, did you see the story with Iman Shumpert? Remember we talked about it yesterday? So Iman Shumpert, this moron, he leaves Texas and he's flying to go to his daughter's wedding or party or something. I think it might be wedding in California. The idiot takes marijuana on his travel bag. So when he goes through TSA, they bust him. And here's the best part about this. So they go bust him, right? And I want you to remember, the man is flying to California. Recreational. You don't need to take weed. If you're flying to California, you're flying to Los Angeles, folks, don't take any weed on you. Not a joint, not one vial, not 6 ounces. Iman Shumpert was carrying 6 ounces of marijuana through the TSA. They probably smelled him from the second he got off on the curb. Wow. Damn. Where's Planet 13? Are we right next to that building? My man had 6 ounces. 6 ounces of marijuana. Did you think you were going to get through TSA with that? Dude, you were going to light up that airplane. Everybody was going to look around. You packing? You packing? You packing? You packing? You packing? You packing? Who's got it? Come on, let's go. It was going to be, they were going to be jamming traffic throughout the entire plane. Light me up or leave me alone. 6 ounces? 6 ounces. And you're going to California with an aching in your heart. I mean, come on, dude. Iman Shumpert, brother, how effing stupid are you? What kind of a moron are you? Who the hell raised you, my man? Were you raised by like bears and lions and tigers and like all kinds of animals that can't think for themselves? Seriously, like you guys talk about players lacking a blocking or this, that. Where's the lacking the common, I'm not even going to say sense because he was loaded with sense. Just not common sense. 6 ounces. Where did he think that was a good idea? I'm going to California. Let me take weed. Like they need weed. Like they've got all the weed you need, bro. You could have bought your 6 ounces there. And by the way, how long were you going to be there that you needed 6 ounces? How many joints are you rolling? How many Led Zeppelins are you rolling? How long are you going to live there? 6 ounces? Iman Shumpert. Come on, dude. You make the word stupidity sound smart. Oh, do you have a betting site sponsor we can promo for? No betting site yet. We're waiting. A betting site wants to come and be a part. We are 22-9 in our last 31 selections against the number. I mean, a betting site would like to, we are pacing for 26 million downloads. So, I think a betting site would like to be a part of this, but no, we got to get that in. One did call me, but they wanted to pay like garbage money. I was like, no, dude, I'm not interested. We're good. I'm not promoting your ass for a couple of bucks. We got a much larger audience. So we did get a call from one. I'm not going to say the name, but they lowballed the hell out of us. And I was like, yeah, I'm not interested. It's good. I'd rather not advertise you than you trying to, because I know what they're doing. This is a very new thing that goes on now. There aren't a lot of podcasts there's very few podcasts that do what we do. Okay. There's a bunch of podcasters, a shit ton. None of them have any sponsors. Okay. So that, anybody and everybody, living with their mom can do a podcast. But this is a whole different ballgame. This is actually a real show, and it's an all sports show, and there's a method behind the madness behind all of this. But this is not an easy thing to do. The business side will drive your ass crazy. The easier side for me after 32 years is doing radio, is talking sports, is doing a radio show. That's the easy part. The pain in the ass is having to deal with the business side of it. And then because we're new, it's either trying to explain to sponsors this format because they're so used to radio and television and traditional advertising. This is not traditional. This is different. But at the same time, you will have sponsors that are trying to take advantage because they think they're talking to some guy that lives with his parents and that I'm doing this for fun. And no, this is a business. This is a real business. And so we did have one. I have not chased any betting sites, but that one called us, but yeah. Leave the door behind, Brett Dodger, and pick up the weights. I don't know what that means. Reach out to Prize Picks and see if they can partner with you. You got to know who they are. On Prize Picks. Got to know who they are. I vape herb in a proper vaporizer, not e-cigs, and consume edibles to get my meds. There you go, Brett. Nice job. Smoke it up, Johnny. That's why they call it dope. Dude, what's up with the Bitcoin? What's up with the Bitcoin bots? I saw somebody, O's won't mind the Bitcoin bots. And no, they're not paying to advertise here. I don't use them. I don't know who they are. I wouldn't want these people misleading you guys. I need to know who the company is. I got to use the company before you use it. You do realize that, right? Every sponsor I have, it's because I've used it, because I believe in it, because it works. If it doesn't work, I do not advertise. I do not allow them on my platform. And in radio, just so you'll know, many times I had issues with salespeople because they would go sell something and then surprise me and say, hey, I sold this for you. And I'm like, well, I didn't meet the sponsor. Because let me give you a little insight on radio. 85%, 90%, 95% of the hosts that do radio, most of their ads, they never met the owner. They never used the product. They just read a script. And so I was the weirdo that I was like, nah, I'm not doing that. So if I don't drink Presidente beer, I'm not representing it. And if I don't drive an Acura, I'm not representing it. And if I don't buy Bitcoin in this place, I'm not telling you to buy Bitcoin at that place. That's just the way it goes. And Nature B, I'm not telling you to take Nature B if I don't take it for 20 years. Can't do it. It's the way that's the way it goes. So you got to do it that way. You have no, at least I do it that way, but they don't do it that way in radio. And so they'll mislead you, and they'll mislead you to one and another, and then you'll never believe the person again. I can't do that. I've never been able to do that. So there you go. I think Big O's going to Red Hot Chili Peppers this month. I am. Boy, you want to know, how about September? Listen to this. Okay. Here's my schedule for September. You guys ready on this? I'm going to see Ghost on September 6th, Lost in the 80s on September 9th, The Killers and Johnny Marr, September 13th, The Fix, September 14th at the Amaturo Theater, Jack White on September 20th, Clutch on September 27th, Seven Dust on September 28th, Alter Bridge on September 30th, and on my birthday, Alice in Chains on October 1st. So from September 6th to October 1st, I've got 9 concerts. How about that? 9 shows. And if you're going to any of those shows, tell me. Love to meet you. DM me. It's a beautiful thing. 9 shows. Man, Theta is up to $1.62. Load it up, baby, at $1.32, 33, 34, I think it is, something like that. And I knew it was going to pop at one point or another. Has to. Theta is a hell of a company, and it's going to get back to where it was and even higher. So I'm looking forward to that. Theta is what, in the $9 range almost? So it's going to go there, and it's going to go even higher. I love it, man. Love it. Getting a little Theta. Let me see where Bitcoin is right now. It is up almost 3%, and it's over 23,000. It's at 23,300 right now. Ethereum is over 1,700, and it's up almost 7% right now. Polkadot's almost 7%. Algorand's up 5%. Decentraland's just over 4%. Cadena is up 8%. It's at $2.09. Yeah. Yeah. I love it. Chainlink's up 5%. I'm a huge Chainlink guy. It's getting just under $8. Avalanche is up almost 5%, up almost to $25. It is the market is popping, man. It's been popping the last 2 weeks. Sean Campbell, I'll see you tomorrow. Oh, I'll stop by. Thank you, sir. And thank you, Sean. You also gave us some love on the Cash App. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Very kind of you for helping us out there on the Cash App. Remember, you can make a donation, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. And on Cash App, you can even donate Bitcoin if you want. So thank you very much, Sean. I appreciate you. And Ho Yoon, thank you, sir. Also, another donation at Cash Big O Show. He sent that out to Venmo. Appreciate you. Says happy Friday. Thank you. See, did Sean put anything there? Let me see. He just for the love. Thank you, Sean. Appreciate you, bro. And look forward to seeing you tomorrow at camp. By the way, if you're going out to Dolphins camp tomorrow, I'll be on the right side. I'm usually in the top 2 rows. Come on by and say hi, man. Would love to meet you. I was able to meet a bunch of guys today. It was awesome. Always want to talk with our Dolph fans. Joe in the PSL is asking me Iron Maiden in October. Yes, sir. I am going to see Iron Maiden. We are, I think it's in Tampa, I believe, right? Because the South Florida date is not announced yet. My prediction with the Iron Maiden South Florida date will be the last date of the tour because Nico lives here, so they'll end here and all that shit. So they'll end here, I think. But I am going. I have 2 Greta concerts in October and an Iron Maiden concert in October. I only have 3 concerts in October. Well, 4 technically, because Alice in Chains is part of that 9 concert tour, but it's on my birthday, October 1st. So technically, I have 4 concerts in October. Alice in Chains, 2 Greta concerts, and 1 Iron Maiden concert. Yes. Videos are out for the 2 songs on the new Clutch album. Clutch is so good. One of the best frontmen in the business. Okay? And one of my best friends, Robert Grieper, introduced me to Clutch. I didn't know much about Clutch. He introduced me to them a few years back. And I saw them over at the House of Blues where we're going again to go see them. And they were just, because they never come down here. It's like Alter Bridge. Alter Bridge, we're going to go up for their debut of their record and all that stuff. And it's a fan thing. It's a part of the fan club. Only a couple hundred people are a part of this. It's really cool because we get to hang out with the entire band of Alter Bridge. So that is just, going to be Miles Kennedy for me is just, he's such a cool dude. I really enjoy his Alter Bridge work, his solo work, and obviously with Slash, just awesome stuff, man. So I'm looking forward to Tremonti and the guys at Alter Bridge. That's going to be a lot of fun, man. And it's something that I've never been a part of, where you release your album and album party and those kind of things, and a cool band like Alter Bridge. I love it, man. Let's see. Mike says, I'm thinking of hitting the Clutch show before the Baltimore game. Clutch has a new album drop in September. Well, Mike, if you go, I want to see you. Make sure you seek me out there. I'll be on the floor somewhere. Okay? I'll be on the floor somewhere. But if you're going, tell me, man. I always love meeting all of you out there. Oh, who would you smoke with under the table? Shaggy from Scooby, Snoop, or Spicoli? No, Snoop. The other two are fictional. You know what I mean? So I'm going to go with Snoop, of course. Shout out to the Big O Show. Straight W's over here. Thank you, Bobo. Appreciate you. Much love. Dougie Fresh, Elephant Riders. There you go. Big O, how's Jason Sanders doing with his kicking? He's fine, bro. He'll be fine. I am not worried about Jason Sanders. That is one that I'm good with. By the way, did you guys see Sharif O'Neal, Shaq's kid? I thought Shaq's kid did something incredibly mature and really, really cool, which makes me want to pull for the kid now. Like, I don't know him from a hole in the wall. You know what I mean? I don't even know how good he is or whatever, but I got to give Shaq and I would imagine, oh God, now I'm forgetting her name now. His wife, damn it. Anyway, I got to give them credit because they did a nice job with the young man. And listen, we all make mistakes. Maybe he makes. I hope he never makes a mistake down the line. But I like how he handled Robert Horry's criticism. And so Robert Horry tweeted out, I know this. I said, I don't know if he has that dog in him to go out there and take what he wants. So Horry was kind of criticizing Sharif. He says, I picked up my phone and I was getting ready to call Shaq like, yo, man, you got to tell your son he can't be playing off the damn O'Neal name. He's got to go out there and play. And I was like, you got to put forth some effort, man. Sharif is such a nice kid that I don't know if he has that dog in him to go out there and take what he wants. Shaq had that dog in him. You got to be able to do that, right? So what happens is then the kid sees the criticism. And nowadays with today's kids, on average, they would probably pop off and say something that they shouldn't say and maybe even talk themselves up like they shouldn't because they hadn't done anything yet. But in their minds, they think they're the shit, as they say. So Sharif answers back to Robert Horry on Twitter. He says, I know this is out of love and no disrespect. I got you, big shot, but you know who raised me. I don't quit. Always been taught to go get it and take it. Been heading in the right step. Like I said, I got you. You'll see. Very mature response to Robert Horry, Sharif O'Neal. I don't know if he's any good. I don't know if he has the talent to be great. I have no idea, but I love how he handled that. Very few young people would have handled it that way. And it's true what Robert Ory's doing. He's doing it out of love. He's not doing it to embarrass the kid. He's not trying to embarrass him whatsoever. But here's the other thing. It's the side of it that none of us think about because you and I don't live this. You and I didn't have to be Peyton Manning's kid or Pete Rose's kid or Shaq's kid or Kobe's kid or whoever, dude, or Mike Trout's kid or whatever. I mean, when you're the son or daughter of a great athlete, can you imagine the daughter of Serena Williams now wants to get into tennis? She has to live up to that. And now the poor girl, we just like Sharif, we got to compare him to Shaq, who's one of the freaks of all time. You know, Steffi Graf and Andre Agassi, I'm sure, had kids. I don't know if it doesn't look like they got into tennis, right? Because they probably would have been into tennis already. We probably would have heard something. But can you imagine being the son of Andre Agassi and Steffi Graf? Holy shit. No. I saw Pete Rose's kid go through this and Ted Williams' kid, and we've seen it over and over. Michael Jordan's kid couldn't even come close to having anything like Jordan's career in college. Forget about the NBA. Okay. And he did have like a 50-point game at Central Florida and everything once, if I remember correctly, Jordan's kid. But he still wasn't really anything special. But you're Jordan's kid. It's tough, man. There's so much pressure, so much expectations on you when you're that man or that boy or girl, and you're trying to follow in that man or that woman's footsteps. It's near impossible. But I gotta give Sharif a little love because I thought that was mature beyond his years, the way he answered that man. And he took it the right way. He took it as a challenge. And I hope he meets that challenge. I hope he excels and becomes an absolute star. Because if he's a good person, you need as many as you can representing sports, man, since they are, to a certain extent, idols to people. You got questions? Send them in on the chat board here, on the YouTube chat board. You can also reach out to us on the Welt and Rayom text line. That's 855-912-1056. That's 855-912-1056 if you want to get in on the Welt and Rayom text line. Big O, are you bringing the show out to Los Angeles, California, or he put California, for the Dolphins-Chargers game? Would love to meet you. Signed, Dan the Man. No, sir. We are going to be here doing pre- and post-game shows, so we are committed to a sponsor here. You can catch me in the off seasons. And I think Sean and I will be in Vegas, I believe, for the East-West Shrine game next year. So we definitely will be back in Vegas, which is close to your town. We might go to the NFLPA game. I'm deciding between the Senior Bowl and the NFLPA game, and I may go NFLPA. Why? Because it's Southern California. Why? Because the East-West Shrine is in Vegas. So this allows us to cover football for 2 straight weeks, and the draft, and players are in the draft. I know we won't go to the Senior Bowl maybe, but we go to those two, and that allows me to get to a lot of players. And selfishly, concerts. There are more concerts in Vegas and in Southern California than there is in Mobile, Alabama. So there you go. So I might be in Los Angeles, Long Beach, which is where that is at, maybe next year. Maybe. I haven't decided yet. Still may end up in the Senior Bowl. We'll see. We shall see. Let's see. What else do we have? Would have to love to be Hugh Hefner's future kid. Yeah, it's not bad. What about the son who got the least talent from their father? Chris Sims. That is bad. Oh, man. What else do we have here? I don't think I see any other questions. I think Sharif is the last person Kobe Bryant texted before the accident, sadly. I'm not sure. You might be right. I think I heard something along those lines, if I remember correctly. I think you might be right, actually. Oh, that electric car company that I was telling you yesterday, it wasn't Korean, it was Vietnamese. And it's called VinFast. They're the ones that I was telling you that they rent the battery out. They lease the battery. They sell you the car. They lease the battery. So that way you can change it and all that stuff. And that they're opening several offices in California and all that. So that's what we need. We need a whole bunch of these companies to get it going. It's nice to see that jobs report too. I like that. Okay. No, I think we are about done, ladies and gentlemen. I think I've gotten it all in for today. We thank Omar Kelly and Manny Navarro. Tomorrow, Cameron Wolf will be joining us at 3:30. Remember, tomorrow we're going to go back to Dolphins camp, and then we'll be back here in the afternoon to do our show at 3 o'clock. Normally, we don't do Saturdays, but because of camp the last couple of weeks, I've adjusted, and we'll do a 6 show on the week. And I will take off Sunday. I'm not going to camp. I'm not going anywhere. I'm relaxing with my wife and my dogs and chilling out, bro. I am not going to do anything else, okay? I am tired, so I am going to chill. But I thank all of you out there that tuned in. Please hit the like button if you're listening to the podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, please also subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. And also our other channel, Big O Show Cuts. We really need you to go subscribe to that channel and get us over 1,000. We need to get over 1,000 quickly. Okay. So thank you very much. Rosendo says he's loving these 3 p.m. and Saturday shows. Yeah. Although it's takes some stuff out of you, I will say that. But I appreciate all of you out there, as always. Sean Stanley and the Seaman, great work today over at camp and helping us out. And, of course, Sean Stanley, you are a stud, sir. Thank you, as always, for coming through for all of us. We will see you tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Same time, same place, same bat channel. I love you all.